The Reds didn't show up in St. Louis. Did Marisa show up for work? That and more right now on First Word.
Welcome to First Word, Cincinnati's only morning sports show, breaking down the biggest moments and the stories shaping Cincinnati sports with analysis that cuts through. First Word, setting the agenda in Cincinnati sports.
Happy Monday and welcome into First Word. I'm James Rapien and this is your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here on The Crown. And in a few minutes, I'll join the desk and we will see if Marisa Contipelli showed up for work for the first time since we've launched. And we're certainly excited for you to be here and less excited about, well, the Cincinnati Reds. They've lost 4 straight games. They're 2 games under 500 for the first time this season at 31-33. And the unfortunate part about all of this is who they are. I'm buying everything that we've seen over the past 6 weeks from the Cincinnati Reds team, a Reds team that started 2011. Since then, well, do the math there, 11-22. They've won just a third of their games, and they've crumbled despite having a lead in a bunch of those games. Of those 22 losses, 12 of them were games that they had the lead in at some point, including all 3 games over the weekend against St. Louis. And I think about this Reds team, and usually when you're struggling in any sport, you like to hang your hat on something. The Reds coming into the season, what did they want to hang their hat on? Their starting pitching. They can't do that. Can they hang their hat on their lineup without Elly De La Cruz? Nope, they can't do that. They only scored 11 runs all weekend. What about the bullpen? No, they can't even trust Sam Moll to throw it to third base. That's the problem, is whether it is the bullpen, whether it's the lineup, whether it's questionable decisions by Terry Francona, it doesn't matter. They are flawed top to bottom. This is who the Reds are. That doesn't mean they can't rebound and hover around 500. We'll get to today's poll question, whether or not you think the Reds are going to finish above 500 this season. But the reality of the situation is simple. What we saw in April is not what they are. They are not a 20-11 baseball team. They are not a team that is going to push for the National League Central. And maybe they stay alive in the wild card hunt, but right now they are flawed, top to bottom. And when that happens, when you're dealing with a bunch of struggles, well, it's simple. You need to hang your hat on something. They're the no-hat rack Reds right now because they can't hang their cap on anything. They can't bank on anything with Elly De La Cruz out, with Hunter Green out, and even Chase Burns, well, he can only do it every 5th day. That's right. Jacob's guy, Chase Burns, can only pitch every 5th day, and so that's pretty much it. And so this flawed Reds team, this is who they are. We're going to see if Marisa actually showed up today, but first, let's hear from Terry Francona.
And the 8th was a right idea, poor execution.
Yeah, ultra aggressive. We needed to be, and he knew it, and he just didn't throw it where he needed to.
I know you're not big on meetings or just the way the weekend went. What message would you have for this team right now?
We talked to the guys after the game just for a minute, and it's actually the same. It's, when it's the hardest to believe, you have to, and when there's doubt, you got to believe in each other and pick each other up. And, I told him, man, run the bases with your pants on fire and don't leave anything on the field. I just believe that's the not just the best way, it's the only way we're going to get where we want to go. And what I don't want them to do is walking around, like I don't want this to be a morgue. That's not the way it's supposed to be. I want them just to, because it's hard for us right now. There's a lot of things that aren't going right, but we can make it better, and we will.
For Rhett Lauder, I'm sure there are moments that he looked sharp. That the walks ultimately hurt him on how far he could go in the game.
It wasn't just that. It was I think early on he was 2-0 on almost everybody. To his credit, man, he fought back and kind of kept him off from scoring. But in the first inning, he was rushing through everything, and Trey slowed him down and looked better. And we were hoping to get a little more as far as pitch count was, but it's his first time back, and when you throw that many pitches that early, to me, that's harder than having lower pitch innings.
Did you see any rust from Panic at all? I mean, no, he's not used to coming out of the pen, but he hadn't pitched in a minute.
No, he hadn't. You're right, and that's why. And I told him before the game, I said, "You are not. I won't bring you in a dirty inning." because we could have sent Ferguson out to face the lefty. I didn't think that was fair to him. You know what? It's hard to gauge because you're right. He hadn't pitched in a while. I think you hope that the velocity will tick up when a guy comes out of the pen. I think he was just trying to find his rhythm.
How important is it for the bullpen to not let any frustration sit in or make things bigger than they are?
I think it's important for everybody. That's part of it. You know, we're all in this together. We all bleed together. And, I thought Santion actually pitched his ass off, today. You get put in situations where you're playing your infielders at unique spots because you have to, and sometimes things happen.
We talked pregame about the way that you all are going to have to give Lauder at least a little bit of protection on coming back, to know you were going to need as many innings out as you needed out of your bullpen today. How hard is that to sort of plan through what that might look like pregame? Well,
I don't usually plan through it pregame. I know who's available and when and things like that, but you don't know how the game's going to go. If the game would have gone according to plan, we'd have used all three of our lefties and finished the game. That wasn't going to work, obviously.
When in times of doubt, you got to believe. Terry Francona and the Reds certainly trying to keep that belief. Well, I'm not one of them. I'm not buying it. You're going to have to build that equity, rebuild that equity, that clip, courtesy of Reds.tv. Look, it's tough sledding for the Reds. 31-33. They've lost 4 straight. They're in San Diego tonight. We'll preview that series. We're going to hear from Sam Moll. And that's what's tough about this is they had some nice performances. Matt McLean hits 2 home runs yesterday, and I'm thinking, hey, they're going to avoid the sweep. Things are rolling. And then he just happens to have one of the worst errors ever after Moll has the worst error ever. And we'll hear from Moll coming up in just a bit. But without further delay, we got to get into a really, really key piece of First Word and an important part of First Word. And Jacob, you're not on camera right now, and don't put him on camera, but were you worried that Marisa was going to make it to the show today and show up for work?
You know what? I was not.
Oh, my God.
I was not.
Is it because she's sitting next to you right now?
Yes.
Let's go to the big reveal. Marissa's in the house! Woo! She showed up! My goodness.
Yeah,
Come on, Rodney. Clap.
A lot of doubts whether or not I would be here. Appreciate you.
Of course. I have faith.
It's the side of the desk.
Of
It's what
course.
we do.
I had all of the doubt. You didn't show up at all. You were over 5.
Wow.
Just strictly numbers-wise.
707.
It was more likely that you
I didn't
weren't
think
here.
I'd have to be defending myself this
for
early
5.
with you.
More belief in the Reds or Marisa showing up. Well, 0 for 5. They were 31-30.
So you had more. Wow.
Yes.
James.
But you showed up. So now I have to reevaluate.
My goodness.
Marisa showed. She's 1 for
We're here.
6.
1 for
We're here.
6.
We'll
build
keep
that
track.
average up. We need a new record graphic for Marisa coming to the show. 1-6 right now. We'll get
1
back to
and 5,
500
1 and
soon.
5.
1 and 5.
1 and
Yeah,
5.
wait.
There we
yeah,
go.
Whoa,
1 and 5. I can't give you an extra one. So
No,
at the end of this week, we'll get back to even.
Back to 500.
I mean, we'll see if she shows up.
Well,
maybe.
Right, she's going to be here in 5 minutes. That's the real conversation, right?
That's true. There is a minutes limit.
I missed you guys last week. I'll say that nice thing about you.
Well, we missed you too, and now we're here. The entire First Word team is here, and I thought it would be under better circumstances, but obviously, the Reds had we have the lead, no we don't. We have the lead, no we don't. And then yesterday, same thing. It's rough right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't feel good. I tried to be optimistic throughout this process, and really over the past 6 weeks, optimism is gone for me.
Yeah, it's about as bad as it can be. I think this roster makeup right now that we're seeing for the Reds is one of the hardest versions of a baseball team to watch on a day-in, day-out basis. You have 2 starters that you legitimately believe in, and if those 2 aren't starting the series, it's very hard to convince yourself the Reds can win the series. And obviously, talking about Burns and Abbott, the 3 this weekend, Singer, Lodolo, and Lauder, just didn't give the length necessary to give the Reds a legitimate shot to win the games. And when the bullpen is struggling as much as they are right now, you need long starts from the guys that were supposed to be the strength of this team. The offense needs people to step up, and even when they do, it's not quite enough. McLean, 3 home runs over the weekend, has been playing great offense since sliding over to shortstop about a week ago, but there's just not a lot to hold on to right now with this Reds team in terms of optimism.
Yeah, it's been tough to watch, and it just seems like when it's kind of like a snowball effect right now for the Reds, where it's like the starting rotation hasn't been there, bullpen's had its struggles, the offense can't hit consistently, and so when you have all of these factors kind of going against you, that's what's going to happen is you're going to get swept and you're going to have a 4-game losing streak. So tough right now, and hopefully they can get it figured out and get back to that form, and maybe getting some guys back from injuries hopefully here soon will help a little bit too.
The no hat rack Reds. They have nothing to hang their cap on.
No.
That's really it. Like, trademark, by the way. So don't try to steal that. It will catch on unless they hang their hat on something.
I don't want it to catch on.
No hat rack Reds.
What's
It's
the
not
most
fun.
likely
I don't feel
thing?
good about it.
What's the most likely thing to develop that the Reds can hang their hat on? Is it just crossing your fingers, waiting for a healthy rotation?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
And what is that, a month away?
Pain.
Yeah.
Pain. Now, the argument would be Singer could be your 5th guy. But we sat here Friday like, yeah, it's a big weekend for Brady. I'm tired of it. You can start singing, Singer. All right, let's top takeaway from the weekend. And my top takeaway is very, very simple. I say the no hat rack Reds. What does that mean? They have nothing to hang their cap on, nothing to hang their hat on. When the going gets tough, they have nothing to say, hey, we can go to this, right? Bengals, they can do that with Joe Burrow. They can do that with Jamar Chase. Heck, with Joe Burrow out, they could say, hey, Joe Flacco, throw it up to Jamar Chase, and you can hang your hat on something. The Reds don't have that. They have no strengths. That's my top takeaway. There is no, like, oh, man, we do this so well that it can help overcome other things. Are they good in some areas? Sure. But top strengths that help hide some of your weaknesses, they have none right now. 0. And so that's it. They got to get in the gym 2 week.
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
You got to get the curls in. Come
It's
on,
bad.
Timo.
And that's the thing is that was my biggest takeaway from the weekend is the one thing the Reds were supposed to be able to hang their hat on is no longer. And that was the rotation. All the conversation going into the season was, sure, they didn't do enough to add to the lineup to really compete. Sure, the bullpen has question marks. You need people to play better than they've ever played in their entire careers. But one thing we know for sure is the Reds are going to have one of the best rotations in baseball. And if everything else goes bad, they at least won't allow runs from the starting rotation. Well, that's sort of gone out the window. And half of that is injury related. Half of that is people not performing well. But I went back and was looking through some of the Reds starting pitchers so far this year. And Andrew Abbott, who's someone that we've talked about over the last about month and a half as someone that you can really rely on a night in, night out basis, still an ERA over 4. That just shows how bad it was to start for him when the Reds were winning games back in April before this all really fell apart. So I think the thing with the Reds right now is there's not a lot of consistency in that rotation outside of Chase Burns. Abbott's found it over the last month or so, but Lauder struggling with command, 5 walks in his return over the weekend. Lodolo coming back a little bit over his last few starts, some encouraging signs after the injury, but still not the guy that was penciled into the 2nd spot in this rotation coming into the season. So for a Reds team that didn't address all their needs this offseason, that didn't take the big swings many fans wanted them to take, you needed the rotation to live up to the hype, and so far it hasn't.
Yeah, I'm right there with you when it comes to the pitching staff. For me, the biggest takeaway was the bullpen just continuing to struggle in the way it did. And I mean, 13 runs given up over the weekend series, 10 walks. It's been, a consistent pattern that has been concerning throughout the course of the season. And for me, it's even bigger picture than that. You look at the numbers, they've given up 39 home runs, at third most in the majors, 158 walks, leading the majors by quite a few, double digits, 154 runs over a 5.12 ERA. It's just, that is not sustainable if you want this team to be in the race in the long term, and especially when you're going against another NL Central opponent like the Cardinals. It was a massive opportunity that unfortunately they couldn't get it done.
And combined pitching staff this weekend, 24 innings pitched, 19 walks. 19 walks.
No hat rack Reds. That's what they are. You can't hang their cap on anything. Plenty of Reds conversation coming your way. But up next, While You Slept becomes While You Swept. Right here on First Word.
So he then gets back into the States, and that's when he hooks up with the Skyline family.
Well, they knew each other growing up.
Okay, yeah.
Down in downtown, and the Lambrinides family, it wasn't corporate, it was their family and their recipes. asked my dad if he'd be interested, and he leapt at it. He couldn't wait. He jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah, well, he's chef by trade, like you said, and now this opportunity to
love the product, love
Yeah.
the simplicity of the product, love the speed, loved all of it.
That's got to make it a lot easier when you really have a specific, belief and an enjoyment of the product itself. That probably helps with the plan there.
We loved cooking and eating, and he loved that concept. He loves Skyline's concept.
Yeah. Does the actual process of it, like you said, the ease with which it's, it may be easier to get something on the plate in front of people versus other types of restaurants, that played a role for him?
The simplicity of our concept is really special.
Yeah, and that's what's really sort of helped it take root, I think, over the years, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have kids?
Yes.
Are they also, I'm always interested in talking with people involved in various levels of business, whether it's a family business or something that they're looking to pass on. I mean, the idea of stewardship plays a big role. How does that look with your kids? Are they looking to move into?
The youngest is graduating from Ohio State, on Mother's Day.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And he worked as an intern for a company in town and did not like office work.
Okay.
So he said, Dad, I think I want to do what you do. So he's going to be coming in at the ground level. You have to learn to crawl before you do the rest. So he will start and work with us and see where it takes him.
Well, I mean, that's how you came up, right? Being an 8-year-old wanting to follow Dad to work and
correct.
helping unload the trucks and everything.
Another rebound rundown update, this time for the Cincinnati Bearcats under first-year head coach Jared Calhoun coming over to Clifton from Utah State. And Jared Calhoun having to put together an entirely new roster this year for Cincinnati. Not a single returning player from last year's Bearcat team. Tylen Riley, the headline piece for this roster, a transfer in from Tulsa, the point guard of this group. Miles Colvin, a transfer from Wake Forest, somebody who has national championship game experience from his time at Purdue in that game against UConn. Tyler Tejada out of the CAA from Towson. Riley Allensbach from George Mason. Travion Carson, Jaden Hastings. Eric Mahaffey, the local product from Moeller. Spent his first year at Akron, now finds his way down to UC, plus 3 players who already have experience in Jared Calhoun's system from Utah State. That is a fantastic balance. You have to have a group that has played for a head coach before. Jared Calhoun has that. Much more coverage of the Bearcats on the Rebound Rundown. Stay tuned.
We had to update Marisa on the latest on First Word. I'm James Rapien. He's Jacob Tissot. Marisa Contipelli again. If you're just joining us on this Monday, well, she showed up today. Let's go. I got Jacob. There we go. All right.
Look, I'm glad you're back. Surprised or not, I'm glad you're back. I need some support over here against the bad guy.
The bad guy.
I'm proud of you for holding down this side of the desk while I was out, though.
I had some help in your seat, to be
I
fair.
will say this. I am not, and you guys know this, I've made it very clear, I am not afraid to be the villain. Those that know me, I am not afraid. You need me to be Darth Vader, it's no problem.
You say that like you don't want to be the villain.
No, like he wants to be.
I don't mind.
No,
if you
he's saying
make
it like
me
he
the
wants
villain,
to
I'll
be.
do
If
it.
you want me to dunk at the garden and be Wemby, I can do that, you know? That's what I mean. Dunk at the garden? I could on 9 foot.
Period? Yeah.
I could on 9 foot. Dunk on First Word, absolutely. Every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati. How about that? Shameless plug. Marisa showed up today. We'll see if she shows up tomorrow. We'll see if she stays till 11.
Fingers crossed.
She might walk on. Yeah, you're
I hope
crossing your fingers. Let's dive into the Reds. We're having much more fun than the Reds did over the weekend in St. Louis, blowing leads on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. And Sundays felt the worst because you get 2 home runs from Matt McLain. It feels like you're going to get and find a way to get a win. Relying on your bullpen to pitch 6 innings, a bold strategy at best. Sam Moll and the Reds weren't able to get it done. The 8th inning was a disaster, which included an error by Moll. Here's what Moll had to say on his throw to third that broke things open and put the Cardinals in the driver's seat for the sweep.
Just try to jump off the mound, and obviously with the force out over there, it was going to be easier than having to try to tag him, but just didn't make a good throw.
We talked to Tito yesterday. He was pretty clear that you pitched really well. It was 1 pitch to Newport today. It's the same thing. It's down to the 1 throw up the third baseline. What do you take away from those moments in those games?
I would say today was the exact opposite for me. When it came to executing pitches, I didn't execute many at all. Really didn't have a good feel for anything. So kind of the opposite of yesterday, where it was just 1 pitch, and then today was a bunch of pitches, kind of just not executed.
Tito's talked about maybe talking to the team just a little bit after the game today and sticking together. And what's the mood in here? What's going on in here right now?
We got enough talent to win ball games. At least from my perspective, it just hurts a little bit more that I was on the end of it, where it cost the team a couple, hopefully some wins when we kind of need them. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
You just got to make the throw to third. Yeah. Just make the throw. Bad teams find ways to lose games. That's it. That's why I trademarked the no hat rack Reds. They have nothing to hang their hat on, but a comedy of errors. That's the one thing I expect. Once it was 3-3, I was like, how are they going to mess this up?
Exactly.
And that's a really bad. I was not feeling that way in April. April was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, and if this show was rocking and rolling in April, we would have been talking about how the Reds were finding ways to win games, how the bullpen was shutting doors they weren't supposed to, how they broke a record to start this season with not having errors in the first 13 games of the year. This Reds team was so outside of the norm of the Reds organization through the first about 30 games of this season. And so fast, it has all snapped right back into place. And that can be seen by the record, an exact undoing of the historic start through the month of April, 2011. And then you lose all the way out to drop below 500 this weekend. Just an unbelievable series of events to bring the Reds to where they are now. And I just don't know how much there is to grasp onto that it can get that much better much quicker.
It's hard to wrap your mind around why is everything snowballing in the way it was. It'd be one thing if the bullpen was having a struggles, or if the offense wasn't there, if there was struggles in the rotation, but it's everything right now. And to what you were just saying, complete opposite, a 180 shift from what we saw in April, and even the slight parts of May is when it really started to unravel. And I have a hard time understanding why is all this going on. And I get it, this team has had injuries, and that's been a huge reason why, but it has to stem beyond that. And it's one of those things where, are we going to be looking at this team in July and having these same concerns, or is this going to be a team where it's going to be kind of a roller coaster type season?
Yeah. Roller coasters include some fun times.
I was going to say, I'd sign up for a roller coaster right now.
Usually downhill in a roller coaster is fun, and man, it's just been downhill and it hasn't been fun. And so hopefully there's some good times. I think it's really tough for me to see where in the where and the how. Because if one guy gets going, then another guy's bad, and if one guy gets going, then that guy's bad. Are they going to be consistently decent lineup-wise? Maybe. Or maybe they should have added more in February and in January and in this offseason when we were talking about, really January, is when we were really talking about it, adding to this lineup. Because that's the thing I come back to. They tried to add to the bullpen. It obviously didn't work. Rotation-wise, they've had injuries. There's the one thing. Fine. We knew they weren't good enough at hitting. And that's with Ellie. That's with Suarez on paper being the guy. South Stewart's hit a slump. Matt McLain is what he is. Just add more. Spend more money. That's it. That's what they should have done. Give themselves more of a margin for error, and they didn't, lineup-wise.
Yeah, and I think, just to try to play devil's advocate a little bit, I think the mindset might have been pour more money into the bullpen because you can't attack those top bats in the free agent market. So try to make the bullpen a strength if you can get relievers there. They added a lot to that bullpen. It has been horrible so far this year. It couldn't have worked out worse for the Reds with a lot of those pieces battling injuries, struggling when they've had time on the mound, and really no one being able to grab the high leverage roles in that bullpen. There's nobody in there right now that you can truly rely on a game in, game out basis to come in there and get guys out at the end of baseball games when they're close. And that is such a frustrating place to be in. If I get frustrated watching them without confidence, I can't imagine how everyone in the dugout feels.
Kyle Schwarber, 23 home runs.
Yeah.
40 RBI, 40 walks, 9 doubles, a triple, slugging 570.
Only himself, his family, and all of his teammates thought he'd be a Red.
Would that have worked? Would that have played at GABP? Would that have helped the margin for error? Home runs do. Spoiler, they help.
A little bit. It's almost like when you play in one of the smallest ballparks in the league, you should build your team to hit a couple home runs.
He might have 30 if he was here. You never know. You never know. Look, that's it. And so shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hopefully they figure it out. We'll see. Let's continue in While You Slept. I like the Why You Swept trademark, by the way. I like that a lot. Here's the problem with it. The Reds didn't sweep. No. They got swept.
Right.
And so I feel really bad. While you swept, it's So, yeah, While You Swept here rolls on in the Memorial Tournament. You've been. Have you been?
I've been many times.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you've been. The Memorial Tournament over the weekend. And JT Poston handles business. Goes down to the wire. I feel like it always goes down to the wire.
It's always a good one.
Poston handled business, though.
Yeah, it's a tough last couple holes always at the Memorial, and it was another great round this year. So, I mean, certainly great to always see everyone out there. It's cool that they've upped these purses for some of these, non-major events to make sure all the guys continue to play. And the Memorial's one of those that continues to get great groups out there. So, another one and a great win for Potts.
Postman is awesome.
Yeah. Great caption.
It's great nickname.
Fantastic.
And give me all of the playoffs. Speaking of playoffs, the Stanley Cup is the best Stanley Cup in the history of Stanley Cups.
In the history of Stanley Cups. That's not an exaggeration.
No, it's not. Vegas finding a way over Carolina over the weekend. They're up 2-1. I hope this goes 7. I hope every game is like this, where it's a 1 goal, one way or the other. Crazy rally by Carolina to make it tight. Goes into OT. Vegas found a way.
They did. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and this is one of those series I'm really, really hoping it goes 7 because I don't know if we're going to get 7 in the NBA finals, and so we need one of these finals to go to 7 and give us what we need. But no, this has been exciting. I mean, the Golden Knights all season long have just been such a fun team, and as we've seen them go through these playoffs, but I don't know, Carolina. It's I don't know.
I thought Carolina was going to shock I mean, look at this. They're down 4-0. You're thinking it's over.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was over. And then I looked at my phone. I was like, no, it is not over. And I love how the Golden Knights are playing throughout the playoffs. They've been awesome, and they're up 2-1 following this win. But Carolina, there's something about it. That's what I think. I can't really obviously
throughout these playoffs, and really shining in those big moments.
Yeah, I love how he's playing. It's been fun. I mean, that shot is just insane. Insane. And then this, I got to be honest, the Knicks, when Brunson missed that second free throw, I thought for sure that the Spurs were going to win. And then when you get Wemby wide open like that, perfect look, got to drill it. The Knicks hang on. If you're the Knicks, you got to get 1 in the Garden minimum. In Game 3, your season's on the line, Spurs. You can't go down 3-0. I still believe the Spurs can win this series, but not if they go down 3-0.
Yeah. Brunson's been great. Cat's been great. Really, the whole supporting cast has been phenomenal for the Knicks so far. Karl-Anthony Towns joins a crazy list. Only 3 7-footers in NBA history have averaged at least 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in a single postseason, minimum 8 games. Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and this year's Karl-Anthony Towns. It has been unbelievable for Towns. He's the odds-on favorite for Finals MVP right now, and he is just one of the easiest players to root for in the entire league. Back-to-back 10-point comeback wins for the Knicks. They are playing as good as anyone, maybe ever. This hot streak right now is unbelievable, and to do it through the Eastern Conference Finals, through the finals, playing the best competition, you'll play all year in the biggest moments. It's unbelievable, and they're built for this.
And also, no team has gone down 0-2, losing both of those games at home, and came back to win the finals too. So the Spurs have a tall task.
So it's so funny because the Knicks, speaking of villains, are used to being the villain. I feel like that's a very much a thing. This team is so likable.
Yeah.
I think they're so they work hard. Jalen Brunson wasn't a top pick. You got our guy Deuce McBride, Pride of Moeller here. making big shots and playing a huge role. Karl Anthony Towns was like a borderline bust in Minnesota at times. Like, not a butt, but what is he really? Mm-hmm. He's reached another level where his playmaking ability, his ability to pass it, dish, all of those things. And yet I still look at it, and I hope you're right. Team of destiny, all of those things, and how many games they've won in a row, everything like that. Like, that Atlanta series feels like forever ago.
CJ McCollum had him down 2-1.
Yeah. And since then, they haven't lost. Right. So I get it. I understand. And I'm like I hear that stat, and I'm like, man, Wemby, like, everything we said about the Spurs is still true. Like, it's still very true. It's still very possible. And I still, as weird as it sounds, if the Spurs win Game 3, which is obviously tonight, feels like there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Knicks. And so if you're the Knicks, just get it done in Game 3, because otherwise, if you're going into that Game 4, it's going to feel like the weight of New York and the basketball world is on your shoulders with an alien on the other side.
For sure. So much of the conversation around the Spurs going into the Western Conference Finals against the Thunder was that teams can't win it on their first go, right? You need to grow, you need the experience. Then when you get back to the playoffs the second time with the same core, then you have a chance to win the championship. After they beat the Thunder in Game 7, I think a lot of us just kind of removed that talking point from our minds, because they proved they could beat a championship contender, the defending champion, best team, odds-on favorite Oklahoma City Thunder. But for these first 2 games, I don't think there's been anything that stood out more to me, that this team is not ready for a finals moment like this. So maybe they can figure it out before Game 3. If not, this one will be wrapped up pretty quickly. But I don't think this means anything long-term for the Spurs. This is still a great young core for this team. They're going to be back. Wemby's going to be a great player for a long time.
Don't do that. What are you doing?
I've seen a lot of people talking about this core, and you might have to blow it up. Fox's contract is huge. You have 3 guards playing the same position.
It's far from over.
I agree.
One way, like this, ridiculous. Any move that the Spurs might make, they might make if they win anyway. Like, Fox could be moved in.
Is potentially on the
By the way, if I'm the Knicks, pressure, because he's the only one who could dribble. They have no one who could dribble. It's the NBA Finals, and they got one guard who can dribble.
Legitimately one guy who can dribble. It's insane. Like, you'd think that's an overreaction. Steph Castle played point guard 2 games. He had 20 turnovers.
Because he's not a point guard. Right? In that, it'd be like asking Josh Hart to play point guard. Like, that's a lot to do. So, time to make picks. We have plenty of time to make our Game 3 picks. We'll do that later in the show. But, like, how realistic is it that the Spurs rally here? Or are you getting the Cavs vibes? Because it feels like you're getting the Cavs vibes.
I mean, I know you said they haven't lost since they were down 2-1 in Atlanta. They also haven't lost since the Devil Wears Prada 2 came out and Cavs' appearance in that. I don't know. It's weird.
Anne Hathaway.
There's something to say about it. I very much have Eastern Conference Finals vibes with this. I don't think it will be a sweep. I just don't think the Knicks.
I hope you're right. Knicks fans deserve it.
Yeah.
They deserve it. Like,
Knicks fans deserve nothing.
Yeah, you can't say that.
They're Yankees fans.
No. What? So?
Shocker. They're
I can't split fans.
Yeah, they're way separate. It's way big. This would be the biggest title we've seen in such a long time in any professional sport because of the.
Really?
Way bigger than the Cavs title.
I was thinking about the Cubs winning the World Series.
Yeah, so that's it. It's Cubs. And then before that, what? Like, it really is. Like, it's that comp. Like, there's not many if they do it. But the pressure's on them to do it, and they're used to heartbreak in New York.
Yeah.
So, we will see. I'm certainly rooting for the Knicks. I have been the whole time. Hopefully they get it done. We'll dive into the NBA more, but it's time to switch things up. Let's talk a little Bengals. We will do that next. Just getting started here on a Monday, right here on First Word.
What is The Crown? It's simple, really. Authentic Cincinnati entertainment. Not hot takes from a studio 3 states away. Not national noise pretending to know this city. Rather, bringing a voice to those who call the Queen City home. Where can I watch The Crown shows? Join us live from 7 to 11 a.m. for First Word and 12 to 1 for the Working Lunch on RESN. No live TV? No problem. Stream and interact with all of our content on major podcast, broadcast, and streaming platforms. The Crown is Cincinnati. Loud, passionate, competitive, proud. From early morning sports debates to the business leaders shaping the riverfront, to the fans, stories, moments, and culture, that make this place move. Live shows, podcasts, documentaries, digital content built from Cincinnati, for Cincinnati. This is The Crown.
Who has more yards, Mitch Tinsley or Odell Beckham Jr.?
Odell.
This year?
I think so.
Mitch Tinsley. I'll bet. What do you want to bet? Lunch.
Sure.
Lunch.
Works.
Clip it, Gabe. Lunch. There's no way Odell. And I'm a receiver guy. It's over.
I don't think he's going to be good.
It's over. Mitch Tinsley's good.
Yeah.
Mitch Tinsley probably starts for New York.
I don't disagree, but he doesn't start for the Bengals.
No
and
doubt.
Odell might start for the Giants.
Yeah. No, he won't.
What, you been Darius Slayton fan?
Yes. Way better than Odell.
Yeah.
Odell hasn't played in a meaningful game.
Jalen Hyatt?
Since the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl.
I did see some
against the Bengals.
Yeah, some
Just to be
Dolphins
clear.
jerseys on the graphics yesterday.
He played for the Dolphins,
Yeah.
but he didn't play. Chad Johnson had a bigger impact for the Dolphins than Odell.
No, you're right. I'm certainly not expecting Odell to be a good
goodness.
receiver this year, but I do think he'll be on the field.
I can't believe I became the anti-wide receiver guy there. But yeah, give me Mitch Tinsley all day long. Crazy what goes into game planning against Dexter. If you can give us some of that, because that's obviously what defenses are going to be doing all season long. Offenses are
I mean,
gonna
I'm
be
not
doing all
going
season
to. We had a good plan against him in New York
Yeah.
in 24. He got like a sloppy one kind of late in the play.
Sure.
I mean, that was when he was leading the league in sacks, too. So his film, he's horrifying as a center going into games like that with a guy of that size and speed. Really, what I try to focus on when we're game planning for a guy of that caliber is, on the rank and file plays where we can get him doubled, let's get him doubled. And then when your number's called and he's on your dance card, you got to come through as much as you can. And I think that's going to cause a lot of stress for opposing centers, which brings me glee.
First word rolls on a Monday. Marisa Contipelli is here. I'm James Rapien alongside Jacob Tissot, and Marisa is in the building. Bam! How about that?
I appreciate the warm welcome, guys.
It's
Thank you so
just
much.
So excited. I didn't want to mention that you missed our entire launch week. I didn't want to
Yeah.
mention that to you and bring that up.
Exactly.
So I'm just glad
I
you're
know.
here.
So
Throw
for me
an
to talk
entire
about it
in
at
there.
all.
I just said, 4 hours, 5 days in a row, 20 total hours missing. I didn't want to mention all of that, so excited that you're
I
here
know.
today.
You guys missed me so much last week. It's
Huge. Jacob?
I missed her. I don't know if you did.
Jacob's like, I'm not touching this. I'm right next to her.
I'll let you guys have your
fun. I'm out of arm's length away. Yeah, you're not.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there we go.
He knows, this side of the desk.
Well, this side of the desk knows that offense wins championships. And so should the Bengals add to their offense, add to their strength. Alvin Kamara is one of the best running backs in the NFL over the past decade. Getting a little older, was in that 2017 draft class with Joe Mixon, to put it in perspective, and Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey, who's still balling. Well, should the Bengals consider trading for Alvin Kamara? It was mentioned on ESPN, Dan Graziano putting it out there. It's hard to see a team offering too much for Kamara at this point in his career, but if he lands in the right kind of backfield, in the right kind of role, he could have a chance to go out with a bang. Maybe a place such as Cincinnati or Green Bay has a way to use him to help the offense. Buy or sell that the Bengals should consider trading for the former Pro Bowl running back?
I'm going to sell that. I don't think they need him in this offense, and I don't want to give up a lot of assets and future assets for an aging running back. They've already shown they don't really go after players when they're in their 30s. He's going to be 31 in July. Now, I will buy if they can sign him as a free agent. I just don't think they need to trade away assets to sign an aging running back. When you have Chase Brown, they like Samaje Perine. You just don't need him.
Asset, go.
It's so great to have Marisa back and some sensibility around adding offense to the Bengals at the desk.
What?
Absolutely sell trading for Alvin Kamara. Not interested at all. And it's maybe less an Alvin Kamara topic than a Chase Brown topic. I love Chase Brown and what he did through the back half of last year. He needs to get a ton of carries and be the bell cow. And I think Samaje Perine is a good component to that in the backfield. So I'm out on trading for Alvin Kamara at over $10 million this year to be a backup running back. I'm really not interested. And I would wonder if he would be interested in filling that role here, not getting very many touches for close to a vet minimum either.
I think he would jump at the opportunity to play in this offense.
I figured he'd want to play.
What? All right, first
to
off,
go win?
Look up Chase Brown's snap count there. Guys, what are you doing? First off, Chase Brown comes off the field plenty. And this idea, after we just talked about how the Reds have zero strengths, why don't they have any strengths? It's because they had a couple of two injuries to the starting rotation, and suddenly they have no strengths. So that's part of it. If Chase Brown gets hurt, let's say you believe Chase Brown's the best running back on the planet. If he gets hurt, they have the worst running back room in the league.
Then trade for Alvin Kamara.
The worst. Then do it then? Yeah. That's the worst. You wait till then. Just trade for a starter. Just trade for a reliever.
The Packers are listed there. They have questions in the running back room, so maybe you take a shot at Alvin Kamara. I don't think the Bengals should even pick up the phone to call for Alvin Kamara.
All right, so here's why they shouldn't trade for him, because of the contract.
Right.
Why they should try to add him has nothing to do with Chase Brown. It has to do with he would be awesome in this offense. So, if it's 50% Chase Brown, 25 Kamara, 25 Perine, you could easily see how that would work. He's a great pass catcher out of the backfield. And so having that, let's just say Brown gets nicked up for a month and it's Kamara and Perine. You can survive with that. And Kamara would be your one. If it's Perine and Brooks, what is that? I don't think there's a ton of belief in Brooks. Maybe he shows it, but it's really tough for me to think that, he's going to be that second guy. And I like what Perine did last year. I thought he was really good. And I'm not saying take Perine off the field for Kamara, but the more you have, the better. So, to Marissa's point, if you could sign him for league minimum or something like that,
do that in a heartbeat.
All day long. My question is, how much would the Saints eat in a trade? Because they don't really gain anything from cutting him, and so I don't think they're going to cut him. So I don't think he's going to be a free agent. So
he also reported the OTAs last week, which was a shocker. So lends itself to that as well, that he'll stick around.
Yeah, and so if you because he wants his money,
right?
So, but if the Saints are like, hey, we'll pay 90% of his contract for a 7th round pick, let's just say, well, then I'll listen. But as far as acquiring the $12 million Alvin Kamara, who was in the 2017 draft, I totally get that. On the surface, it is sell. But am I interested in the talent? Yes. Is it worth having a discussion about? I think it is, because he would be RB2 from a bell cow standpoint, where you keep Perine fresh. He's your do-it-all, can be a pass blocker, run when you need him to, but just be that reliable vet.
Yeah.
Kamara can be the Chase Brown essentially replacement if Brown gets nicked up or is battling something and you don't want to give him a full allotment of snaps. So I know what happens if Brown gets hurt, and it's man, the running back room is really, really shallow. And so would it be nice to add one more vet? Yeah, it would.
How confident are you in Kamara's ability still?
Pretty confident. Not at $12 million a year.
To be an effective NFL running back still at this age.
In this offense, I think he would. To Marissa's point, I think he'd be like, I can be what I was with Drew.
Okay.
With Drew Brees. Now,
maybe not.
No, but he would view it that way. I can be that. It's going to fit my skill set the way it did when I was a rookie or when I was in my second year, where I'm going to catch 60 balls.
Yeah.
That's what he would think. Whether or not he did that is a whole other thing. But yeah, I think he would still be effective. And so in on the talent, not in on the contract. Do I think the Bengals are having a real conversation about it? Probably not, because of the aging contract.
Yeah. That's probably a non. I mean, that's just a non-starter, right? With any kind of conversation here.
He's over 30.
Right, and the money. But in my opinion, Kamara's still just not Kamara. Like, the name's carrying so much weight for what he's done in the past. Last year was his worst year of his career by far. And obviously the Bengals offense is not the Saints offense. I'm not trying to compare the two, but last year he had 186 receiving yards. Before that in his career, he had never had below 450. Like, the drop-off was insane last year. And for the Saints to be locked in at nearly $11 million and then go out and pay Travis Etienne all that money to be their new starting running back tells me that they don't feel great about Kamara having too much left in the tank either. So if he's on the open market and just sitting there for a vet minimum, sure, but I don't think he gets to that situation, so I don't think there's a path where the Bengals should really be interested to adding him.
Spencer Rattler isn't walking through that door.
Yeah, shucks.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, it's hard for me to buy it. Has he lost a step? Fine, he's not. Because if he hadn't lost a step, he's still one of the best running backs in the league. He's right there with insert whoever you want to say.
Yeah.
Bijan, Gibbs, like he's in that conversation. I don't think he's that anymore, but do I think that he would help a running back room that would be relying on Taj Brooks if Chase Brown gets hurt? Yes. And you got to make those moves now. You can't react after the fact because then you're scrambling and you're trading for what's the running back they traded for a couple of years ago?
Khalil Herbert.
Who
could forget? He changed everything.
Drops the ball the moment they hand it to him on the road in Baltimore. They were like, all right, that's enough, Khalil. Were you on the field for that?
No, it's not.
But they were like, that's enough, Khalil. Yeah. We're not going to hand it to him.
One of my favorite things, that fumble wasn't even credited to Khalil Herbert.
Was it not?
No.
So, in on Kamara in the right circumstances?
In one circumstance.
It's
a minimum contract.
Yes, with you on that. You might be able to sway me if the Saints eat like 95%.
I take it back.
No, that's
come back on vacation.
but that's it. Because I get not wanting to spend a ton because you sign a linebacker and all of those things. But if you get him at a reasonable deal for a 7th rounder,
I would say that would be the extent. Like, I don't want to give anything higher than a 7th round pick. That would be one. That's it.
Make it a condition. If the Bengals win the Super Bowl, it becomes a 6. Done. There we go. There we go. Sure. If Alvin Kamara helps you win a Super Bowl, then I'm just saying you can make it a conditional 6 seed. There's ways. I'd be a great GM. We'd be making moves, baby.
There'd be no defenders.
Hey, Alvin, do you know how to play safety? We'll continue the Bengals conversation coming up later in the show. It is a Monday on First Word. We are Cincinnati's morning sports show right here on The Crown.
Yeah, no, like, funny story. Every Friday, Cody Ford tries Scott Peters with some type of, like, jiu-jitsu wrestling move. And Cody's never done jiu-jitsu or wrestling. And so the first time he did it, I mean, it took Cody probably, I'm going to say 9-10 weeks into the season to build up the courage to do this. And so every Friday he would say, he'd be like, man, you know, I'm going to get Scott. And we think he was joking. So like I said, it's week 9 or week 10, whoever we're playing. And so we're in Friday. Scott's like putting a little zen in or something and staring. And Cody comes behind him and tries to like straight up put him in like a chokehold. And I never seen someone like, I mean, it was like out of a movie. Like he flipped Cody on his back, put him in like something. I mean, it was ridiculous. Like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I just would recommend, man, if you live in the city of Cincinnati, don't mess with Scott Peters. So, yeah.
It's fine. We're on our way to the Bonbonnery. I'm excited. I'm from Cincinnati, and the Bonbonnery has been here forever, you know, legendary. Today, we're gonna bake cookies and cakes and stuff and get a behind-the-scenes tour. And it's gonna be really fun and dynamic. And I love baking. I don't really like cooking as much. Cooking me kind of wigs me out, but I really like baking. Hi, my name is Natalie Jones, and today we're at the Bonbonnery here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Technically in O'Briensville Square. It is a bakery, a deli. It has a nice little cafe in it and a tea room. So let's go see everything about it today. Today I'm gonna make cookies and some cakes and just see exactly how it all works. Okay, so Pat, you're involved. What is your role here?
I run our wholesale department.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And Pat and I know each other from high school. High school, right?
Yeah, the neighborhood.
Cincinnati's
Mount Lookout,
small.
Hyde Park.
Cincinnati's small. We
Yep.
all know each other.
Yep.
And it is your aunt who.
Yeah, I call her an aunt. She's a cousin. Mary Pat Pace and Sharon
Gotcha.
Butler are the two owners.
Well, it's fantastic. Let's go check it out.
Let's do it.
You know, I did work in the food industry for a very long time. My parents had a restaurant, and then before that, I worked like in 25 different restaurants because I just kept getting promotions. Hi, great to see you. Great, how are you? Charlie, look how beautiful these things are. Oh, it's wild. I'm gonna try to make them just as pretty. We're getting the official behind-the-scenes tour. Look at these ladies. Ooh. Good morning.
So yeah, this is our
hello.
decorating team. Here's the cake
Oh my
team.
gosh. Wow, how many do you make at one time?
Right now, well, this is usually about half what we do, but this is about 60, that's like 6-inch, and about 20 of the 9-inch.
Wow.
Everything's made fresh, and we don't really have like a huge factory or commissary.
Hi, ladies. Hi, good morning.
Let's keep it rolling here on a Monday on First Word. Marisa Contipelli in the building. Facebook, we are live on Facebook, by the way, for the first time. First Word with James Rapien. Make sure you like. Almost 3,000 likes already. Almost 5,000 people have subscribed on YouTube, and some of the YouTube chat was like, hey, you mentioned Marisa like you mentioned Jeremiah Love, and you guys are lucky.
true.
You guys are lucky we weren't live during Jeremiah Love, because I would have traded up to #1 overall and got that man.
Yeah.
Would have got that man #1 overall.
If you give James a window to say Jeremiah Love, he's gonna jump right through that thing.
Marisa Contipelli doesn't ring the same way as Jeremiah Love.
It doesn't, and I'm glad it doesn't.
This is my invitation, Jeremiah Love, to join us at the desk here on First Word. Let's dive into What's the Word, which is our poll question of the day. And it's simple. The Reds, well, they stink right now. It's no doubt about it. They've lost 4 straight. They went from 31-29 to 31-33. They're 2 games under 500 for the first time this season. Will they finish this season above 500? 82%.
People are feeling great.
No, they won't. 14.4% yes, but miss the playoffs. 3.2% say yes and make playoffs. 0.4% yes and win the division. Yeah, they're 9.5 back in the division. I get the 0.4%. I understand why no one voted that.
I want to buy those 0.4% of people a beer. They deserve their optimism.
That one
is
person,
unbelievable.
it's like one. It's got to be one.
No,
Look,
it's more than one.
I love that guy then. I mean, shout out him for the or girl.
There you go.
Shout out for the optimism because I don't have it. And winning the division is so far out of my mind at
Maybe
this
Marisa
point.
voted that.
Maybe.
Spoiler alert, I did not.
Okay.
Whoever did, though, tweet us. Jacob's going to buy you a beer.
Look, yeah, I mean, that's impressive to still believe a little bit, but 82% no, they won't. Way to just call the season so early. I mean, same record at this point as they had last year, finished above 500 last year, finished in the wild card last year, so none of those doors are closed, but it does feel different, and it's hard to feel too optimistic right now.
It feels different. I'm staying somewhat optimistic. I think they will finish above 500 because they've been doing all this and they have so many injuries on this team. So if this team can get healthy, they get Hunter Green back, I think above 500 is realistic.
We'll dive into some of your responses to the poll question coming up later in the show. Up next, is it time to panic? We'll get to our Reds panic meter right here on First Word.
The Crown has you covered. Start your day with the first word. Cincinnati's only morning sports show. Power through midday with the working lunch. Cincinnati business talk that keeps you in the know. Nat tries that for lifestyle around the city. And the Rebound Rundown covers every corner of the college basketball scene in the tri-state and beyond. This is The Crown. Built for Cincinnati. First word for your morning sports. The working lunch for business that hits home. Nat tries that for lifestyle around the city. And Rebound Rundown for college hoops. This city deserves its crown. Watch, listen, subscribe. Hi, my name is Natalie Jones. Just your typical 40-year-old Cincinnati girl. Although, no, I'm not married or divorced. I don't have any kids, and I don't live in the neighborhood I grew up in, which is the West Side, by the way. But what I do have is a lot of freaking time, and I've been using it well. So come along with me on this grand adventure, because I've been trying all the new around town that you need to know about. This is Nat Tries That. Hello, my name is Natalie Jones, and welcome to the Nat Jones Show. After retiring from my 10-year radio career here in Cincinnati, I caught the bug, and I'm happy to bring it here to the Crown. I love captivating people who have captivating stories to tell. And the thing about it is, everybody has a story to tell. All you gotta do is empower them to do so. That is exactly what I'm doing here. Because life is better when we all stay curious and we all stay connected.
Cincinnati, home to more than a dozen Fortune 500 companies. A city where you know someone who knows someone, and you're in business. Every weekday at noon, The Working Lunch brings you headlines from local businesses, along with exclusive interviews with owners and local leaders. East Side, West Side, northern suburbs, downtown over the Rhine, and northern Kentucky. Real conversations, real Cincinnati. The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, weekdays at noon, only on The Crown.
This city has always had something to prove. While the rest of the country talked about us, we built our own voice. Blue collar, underdogs, built differently, overlooked, talked about like we were supposed to stay quiet. But that was never who we were, because this city doesn't wait for permission. And neither do we. And now, for the first time, Cincinnati has a network built in its image, because the biggest stories in this city deserve more than highlights. This isn't cable television. This isn't national media. This is ours. This is The Crown.
Let's keep it rolling here on a Monday. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what we are, who we are, how to find us, well, you can check us out every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook as well. And you can listen to us wherever you go on Mixler, plus in podcast form, Spotify, Apple. If you missed Orlando Brown Jr. in studio, if you missed Ted Karras in studio last week, like Marisa did, you can catch it everywhere right there. And of course, you can catch The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley today at noon and every weekday at noon right here on The Crown. The Nat Jones Show and Rebound Rundown also streaming on demand.
You know why, even though I wasn't here in studio, I didn't miss a lot last week? It's because I subscribed. So make sure you subscribe to all of our shows here on The Crown.
Boom. Contipelli subscribed.
Yeah.
Did you subscribe?
I did.
That's what I did. Did Tissot?
Yeah.
Did Tissot? I only called him Trisket probably twice.
It was a really good week.
It was
I don't know how
really
I feel
good.
about that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
was
over
glad.
now.
I know.
There was a time though because you referred to him on your desk.
I did.
Yeah, so there was that time.
Yeah.
You can't give him openings like that.
No, I know.
No, it was I mentioned it, and he was like, "Well, if you look at my desk, no one would deny it." Yeah, it's true. Is what it is. All right, we can talk about Triscuits. We can talk about how to watch.
Anything's more
and
fun than
all
talking about
those
the Reds.
things are far more fun than talking about how bad the Reds are. But guess what? They're bad, and it's time to dive into a Reds team that's 31-33 on the season. They've lost 4 straight games. And honestly, guys, for the first time this year, and this is what really stinks and it feels like they're maybe not at rock bottom yet. Who knows what the rock bottom is? But trending in that direction, 2 games under 500 for the first time this season.
Certainly not great. Certainly not great. Same record.
That analysis there is great.
Same record through as many games as last year. Same record through as many games as 2024. 3 years in a row. Same exact record through this many games. Nick Kroll said he wants to eliminate peaks and valleys. It's what he's done. His team is exceptionally average, and it is every single year, regardless of what they do with the roster. And there's no incentive to go for it and take a swing and go try to win. And there's really no movement to ever blow it up truly and rebuild anything. So the Reds tread water with exciting prospects and hope they can get lucky with bargain barrel signings like Nathaniel Lowe and JJ Bleday. And even when they do, none of the other stuff works out, and the Reds aren't good enough to win. The panic button hasn't just been located, it's been put on my kitchen counter. I'm going to have to bring it to the office because I'm hitting it.
You didn't bring it?
All the time. I don't
Mine's
have a
on my
physical
desk.
panic button.
Yeah, I do. Mine's on my desk.
The fact that it's not down here is a crime.
Yours is at home. There, yeah. Oh, you'd be if you actually had. Mine's on my desk upstairs for sure. It is. Yeah. They're the no hat rack Reds. They have nothing to hang their hat on. So I'm not sure I can hit panic. Do you hit panic if there's no strengths?
That's the only time I hit panic. This many games through the season, it takes a lot for me to really panic about the Reds. There's so much time for them to figure it out or get hot or get healthy or whatever the word is. And there's just no faith in my mind that they can tread water long enough to get to any of those points.
I hope there is. I really don't want to be talking about, a disappointing Red season all the way into August. I'm not hitting the panic button just yet because of just the injuries that have been piling up. And I know Ellie, it's only been a short stint that he's been out, but he makes a huge difference, obviously, in this lineup. And then you look at just the pitching staff. I mean, I'm really eager for Hunter Green to get back. The rest of the starting rotation has just been hit with injuries here and there. And then you look at the bullpen with Pagan, Ashcraft, and Pierce Johnson being out. I mean, if you have a healthy Reds team, I think this team is above average and better than a 500 record. It's been a snowball effect of, little things not going right, and then you pile it on with all the injuries. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button just yet.
All right, let's dive in. 1 to 10. She says it's not time to panic just yet, so we're going to start with Marisa. 1 to 10 scale, panic meter. What is the Contipelli panic meter at right now when it comes to the 31-33 no hat rack Reds?
I'm going to give it a 6. So I'm a little.
That's higher than I thought.
I'm a little.
Is it?
For no panic? Yeah.
I'm not like a panic until I'm like at an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
8 or
she's
9
panicking.
is like a panic.
Okay.
It's not like everything's burning and she's saying this is fine. Like, this is clearly not that.
Yeah, no, we're not there yet. Hopefully we don't get there. Hopefully we don't get
All right,
there.
6. Why?
Yeah, 6. Just because of everything I just kind of mentioned. The injuries for me is the big key here. Even Suarez missing the time that he did. When this Reds team can get healthy, but that's the key point here is if they can get fully healthy, I think they will be okay. I'm at a 6 right now because of just the way they haven't been able to tread water with all these guys out. They're 2-13 against the NL Central. They have to find a way to win within the division, and the fact that they haven't been able to do that at all this year, definitely a concern. But I don't think we should get to the point where it's at anything higher than a 6. I'm really scared to find out what your number is because I feel like it's probably near the top end of the threshold there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
I wish you wouldn't have put a cap on it, because I think I would have been higher than 10, but I'll sit at 10 because you said
10.
1 to 10. Yeah,
1 to 15.
15.
1 to 20.
20.
1 to 100.
100. I'm as panicked as you can be about a team because of what I think they are when they're healthy. And that's my thing.
1 to 1,000.
1,000. Because I think this team is good when they're healthy, or at least has pieces to get there. But my thing is,
1 to 2,000.
they have 2,000. They have one series left in the month of June against a team below 500.
Oh boy.
And it's a team with a $330 million payroll in the New York Mets that can absolutely get hot and win a series. I think the Reds, by the time they get the roster that we expected in the preseason, by the time they get Chase Burns and Hunter Green at the front of the rotation, when Ellie's playing shortstop and everyone's healthy and they're hitting their stride, what are they, 10 games below 500? 8 games below 500, and they're trying to dig themselves out of that hole the whole time until you get to the trade deadline and you have to make a decision whether to buy or sell, and it's too late and the decision's made up for you. I just think this schedule sets up for an absolute nightmare for the Reds. This weekend was as bad as it could be. Stringing it together after that Royals series loss, this is an absolute nightmare for the Reds. We asked whether or not they were going to be buyers or sellers on Friday. I'm pretty far into the sellers camp at this point after this weekend.
Not surprised.
All right. The most worrisome thing that you said there was the opponents.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to call them the no hat rack Reds, which means they have nothing to hang their hat on, guess what? If they're going to play all these good teams and you don't have a strength and you don't have something you can lean on to get a series victory in San Diego over the next few days, well, then what are we going to be talking about? A deeper hole and a deeper hole. And then you're right. The Mets are certainly capable. How is that the easy team that you have to play? Like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. And that's what's tough now is how do they get themselves out of it? And when you look at some of these series, the Royals one last week felt like a big one. And dropping 2 of 3 to the Royals, blowing what should have been a victory with Chase Burns on the mound. Somehow, can you imagine if they didn't pull the rabbit out of their hat with Will Benson, the home run in the ninth? That Royals series could have been a sweep as well. And it could have felt that much worse. They've lost 8 of 10. They've lost 22 of 33. They're 11 and 22 after that 2011 start. And so panic level for me, it is high. And it's not high like panic, like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. It's panic like, this might be them. This might be it. And it feels like this is who they are, a flawed team that has no real strengths, nothing you can really rely on when things aren't going well, because that's it, right? If things aren't going well, you should be able to lean on a strength. And when Ellie's out there, it's like, oh, well, Ellie could just wreak some havoc on the base paths, find a way to get him on, do whatever, and he's going to make some great plays in the field. Yesterday, it felt like, all right, Matt McLean's going to find a way to get you to a victory, which is wild to say, and then they melted down. And Rhett Lauder, the injury part of it, to Marisa's point, he wasn't himself fully yet, and I don't think anyone was expecting that. I also wasn't expecting the bullpen to be asked to pitch 6 innings. And so that's what's tough right now is the starting pitching isn't close to what we thought it would be, and there's question marks all over the place outside of Chase Burns and Andrew Abbott. The bullpen stinks. And without Ellie De La Cruz, this lineup is as inconsistent as any lineup that you could reliably think would be out there day to day for the Reds with Suarez's struggle, Sal Stewart's up and down, everything that we've seen. So it's really tough for me to believe. I would put it at an 8 right now, and that's pretty high for me. I like to stay even kill. Panic meter's at an 8.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest questions right now, focusing on Rhett Lauder's start this weekend and his return, his AAA rehab start, he threw 70 pitches. Yep. 50 of those 70 pitches were strikes.
I was so
he
encouraged.
was pounding the zone. That's the main thing
Yep.
for Lauder so far this season, was not being able to control the baseball, walking way too many guys. And the thing for me that's really perplexing is this has not been an issue for Lauder at any point in his career, not at Wake Forest, not his rookie season with the Reds, not at any point really even in the minors coming up before his debut. So I don't know where this has come across. Maybe the shoulder was a bigger issue beforehand than we thought. Maybe he was pushing in this last start over the weekend. But the way I keep thinking about this is it's not just Rhett Lauder. We've talked about this with Zach Maxwell. We've talked about this with Connor Phillips. We've talked about this with Tony Santillan. We've talked about this with Graham Ashcraft. So many pitchers in this Reds organization right now are struggling with control more than they ever have in their career. What leads something to take that kind of step as an organization? Look, if it's one or two guys, sure, they're having a bad year. They're struggling with something. I don't know. Something's gone wrong organizationally when you look at a pitching staff that's across the board walking this many people. It's a problem.
It is. That's all that there is to that. No, they need
walking
to get
more than she did at the Grand Canyon last week. That's where she was, by the way, is the Grand Canyon. I didn't mention it. I think you teased it a little. I didn't mention where you were. I was like, let's wait till she gets back.
I just said you were having a grand time.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
I said it to him this morning, and he just went like this, and I'm like, I've been waiting to say that to you guys.
Yeah, it's 6:04. She's making grand jokes.
No, but I mean, you mentioned, so yes, I was out in Arizona, and while I was out there, I went to a Diamondbacks game because it's what I do. I go to other sporting events. So Arizona is coming into town this Friday. Oh. After watching them in person, they are a very beatable team. We talked about the upcoming opponents for this Reds team. You got 3 against the Padres, and you got 3 against the Diamondbacks.
Go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I saw them with the walk-off win by Marte, but it was fine. Then the Mets, and then the Yankees.
Oh my God.
You look at the Padres and Diamondbacks are both barely above 500. Very similar to this Reds team in that sense that they're right around that line. And then you have the Mets coming to town. We've already talked about their struggles. And then you get a Yankees team that has had so many injuries. They're not going to have to face Aaron Judge. Not sure if Stanton is going to be back off the injured list by the time that series comes around. I think the next 4 series are, not saying they're going to win all those series, but doable in the sense that I don't think they're the teams that we should feel as threatened by as you normally would. I don't.
No, hope. Marisa with the hope. That's what you get, Mr. 2000 panic meter.
Look, I think if the schedule was...
You were at 2000.
I think if it was Rockies, Hayes, Marlins, I'd feel the same way about this Red schedule coming up. I can't talk myself into them being able to beat anyone right now.
Oh, I love this. I do love this. We have a very nice dynamic when, he's always going to be the most panicked out. And he is, Mr. 2000.
It does not take much to get you panicked.
Mr. 2000.
I just don't know where the hell it's coming from at this point.
Looking at these next 4, I think they could easily get 2 of those series, maybe 3.
That's the thing about baseball. You win a series and I forget the last 2.
It's a long season. Yeah. But guess what? It's getting short because they lost 4. They almost got swept by the Royals.
Abbott and Burns game 1 and game 2 in San Diego.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll preview that series coming up. But up next, it's not while you slept, it's while you swept since the Reds got swept. We'll dive into everything you missed next right here on First Word.
And today we are at Laurie's Roadhouse in Westchester, Cincinnati, Ohio. We're about to go country line dancing. And I'm here with Erica. She is the resident country line dancing teacher. And she has done it every Tuesday since
October
21?
Unless I'm at the beach.
Unless she's at the beach. Okay. Now Laurie's Roadhouse has been here since 2021, right?
October 2021. When I tell folks the rules for line dancing, you have to be able to count to 8.
Okay, cool.
It's helpful if you know your right from your left.
Okay.
You have to smile and have fun.
Hey.
And encourage your neighbor.
Oh, you're doing great, girl. Good job. All right, girl, here we go.
I want to welcome you all to Tuesday Night Line Dancing. How many new friends do we have? New friends, new friends. Loud and proud, here we go. So we want our new friends to feel really welcome. So tonight they're going to learn 3 dances in the beginning class from 7 to 8. I'm going to teach the dances step by step by step with a lot of repetition. Makes it easy to learn. All right. 1, 2, 3. Nice. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you nail it?
Nailed it!
That's because we haven't turned yet. It's back 3, 4. Okay, you just did a rocking chair. Now step forward on your right, left.
Dude, you know what?
Now
This
you know
is
the
easy.
drill. You're going to count that.
1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay.
That didn't sound very confident. So let's do it 2 more times.
Oh, perfect.
Looking good.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, right.
Turn again.
5, 6, 7, and 8.
Good job, dancers. Yay. So in the early 90s, I danced 6 nights a week for 6, 7, 8 years. And then when all the bars closed, then I kept dancing. I danced at church. I danced at community centers, recreation centers. Right now I have like 9 or 10 classes a week, but this is by far the funnest place ever.
It's only one I can do. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Now, this year's World Cup does feature 48 teams. It's the largest the tournament has ever featured and does include Messi and the defending champions, Argentina, along with some of the powerhouse names like France, Brazil, and England. Now, the format for this year's tournament is going to look like this. The 48 teams will be divided into 12 groups of 4, with the top 2 teams and the best third-place finishers advancing to the newly introduced round of 32. Now, as for the United States, they are co-hosting the tournament for the first time since 1994, as aspirations are very high for this U.S. squad. Let's take a look, though, at how they can advance through group play. They will be in Group D. Friday, June 12th, the U.S. will kick off their tournament against Paraguay. That is at 9 p.m. Eastern from Los Angeles. They will then head up to Seattle on June 19th to take on Australia, and then we'll be back in LA on June 25th.
We had to update Marisa on the latest on First Word. I'm James Rapien. He's Jacob Tissot. Marisa Contipelli again. If you're just joining us on this Monday, well, she showed up today. Let's go. I got Jacob. There we go. All right.
Look, I'm glad you're back. Surprised or not, I'm glad you're back. I need some support over here against the bad guy.
The bad guy.
I'm proud of you for holding down this side of the desk while I was out, though.
I had some help in your seat.
I will say this. I am not, and you guys know this. I've made it very clear. I am not afraid to be the villain. Those that know me, I am not afraid. You need me to be Darth Vader. It's no problem.
You say that like you don't want to be the villain.
No, like he wants to be.
I don't mind.
No,
if you
he's saying
make
like
me
he
the
wants
villain,
to
I'll
be.
do it.
If you want me to dunk at the garden and be Wemby, I can do that. You know, that's what I mean. Dunk at the garden? I could on 9 foot.
Period? Yeah.
I could on 9 foot. Dunk on First Word? Absolutely. Every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati. How about that? Shameless plug. Marisa showed up today. We'll see if she shows up tomorrow. We'll see if she stays till 11.
Fingers crossed.
She might walk on. Yeah, you're crossing your fingers. Let's dive into the Reds. We're having much more fun than the Reds did over the weekend in St. Louis, blowing leads on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. And Sundays felt the worst because you get 2 home runs from Matt McClain. It feels like you're going to get and find a way to get a win. Relying on your bullpen to pitch 6 innings, a bold strategy at best. Sam Moll and the Reds weren't able to get it done. The 8th inning was a disaster, which included an error by Moll. Here's what Moll had to say on his throw to third that broke things open and put the Cardinals in the driver's seat for the sweep.
You know, just try to jump off the mound, and obviously with the force out over there, it was going to be easier than having to try to tag him, but just didn't make a good throw.
We talked to Tito yesterday. He was pretty clear that you pitched really well. It was 1 pitch to Nootbaar today. It's the same thing. It's down to the 1 throw up the third baseline. What do you take away from those moments in those games?
Yeah, I would say today was the exact opposite for me. When it came to executing pitches, I didn't execute many at all. Really didn't have a good feel for anything. So kind of the opposite of yesterday, where it was just 1 pitch, and then today was a bunch of pitches, kind of just not executed.
Tito's talked about maybe talking to the team just a little bit after the game today and sticking together. And what's the mood in here? What's going on in here right now?
I mean, we got enough talent to win ball games. You know, at least from my perspective, it just hurts a little bit more that I was on the end of it, where it cost the team a couple, hopefully some wins when we kind of need them. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
You just got to make the throw to third. Yeah. Like, just make the throw. Bad teams find ways to lose games. That's it. Like, that's why I trademarked the no hat rack Reds. They have nothing to hang their hat on, but a comedy of errors. Like, that's the one thing I expect. Once it was 3-3, I was like, how are they going to mess this up?
Exactly.
And that's a really bad. I was not feeling that way in April. April was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, and if this show was rocking and rolling in April, we would have been talking about how the Reds were finding ways to win games, how the bullpen was shutting doors they weren't supposed to, how they broke a record to start this season with not having errors in the first 13 games of the year. This Reds team was so outside of the norm of the Reds organization through the first about 30 games of this season. And so fast, it has all snapped right back into place. And that can be seen by the record, an exact undoing of the historic start through the month of April, 2011. And then you lose all the way out to drop below 500 this weekend. Just an unbelievable series of events to bring the Reds to where they are now. And I just don't know how much there is to grasp onto that it can get that much better much quicker.
It's hard to wrap your mind around why is everything snowballing in the way it was. Like, it'd be one thing if the bullpen was having a struggles, or if the offense wasn't there, if there was struggles in the rotation, but it's everything right now. And to what you were just saying, complete opposite, a 180 shift from what we saw in April, and even the slight parts of May is when it really started to unravel. And I have a hard time understanding why is all this going on. And I get it, this team has had injuries, and that's been a huge reason why, but it has to stem beyond that. And it's one of those things where, are we going to be looking at this team in July and having these same concerns, or is this going to be a team where it's going to be kind of a roller coaster type season?
Yeah. Roller coasters include some fun times.
I was going to say, I'd sign up for a roller coaster right now.
Usually downhill in a roller coaster is fun, and man, it's just been downhill and it hasn't been fun. And so hopefully there are some good times. I think it's really tough for me to see where in the where and the how. Because if one guy gets going, then another guy's bad. And if one guy gets going, then that guy's bad. Are they going to be consistently decent lineup-wise? Maybe. Or maybe they should have added more in February and in January and in this offseason when we were talking about, really January, is when we were really talking about it, adding to this lineup. Because that's the thing I come back to. They tried to add to the bullpen. It obviously didn't work. Rotation-wise, they've had injuries. There's the one thing. Fine. We knew they weren't good enough at hitting. And that's with Ellie. That's with Suarez on paper being the guy. Like, Sal Stewart's hit a slump. Matt McClain is what he is. Just add more, spend more money. Like, that's it. Like, that's what they should have done. Give themselves more of a margin for error, and they didn't, lineup-wise.
Yeah, and I think, just to try to play devil's advocate a little bit, I think the mindset might have been pour more money into the bullpen because you can't attack those top bats in the free agent market. So try to make the bullpen a strength if you can get relievers there. They added a lot to that bullpen. It has been horrible so far this year. It couldn't have worked out worse for the Reds with a lot of those pieces battling injuries, struggling when they've had time on the mound, and really no one being able to grab the high leverage roles in that bullpen. There's nobody in there right now that you can truly rely on a game in, game out basis to come in there and get guys out at the end of baseball games when they're close. And that is such a frustrating place to be in. If I get frustrated watching them without confidence, I can't imagine how everyone in the dugout feels.
Kyle Schwarber, 23 home runs.
Yeah.
40 RBI, 40 walks, 9 doubles, a triple, slugging .579.
Only himself, his family, and all of his teammates thought he'd be a Red.
Would that have worked? Would that have played at GABP? Would that have helped the margin for error? Home runs do. Spoiler, they help.
A little bit. It's almost like when you play in one of the smallest ballparks in the league, you should build your team to hit a couple home runs.
He might have 30 if he was here. You never know. You never know. Look, that's it. And so shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hopefully they figure it out. We'll see. Let's continue in While You Slept. I like the Why You Swept trademark, by the way. I like that a lot. Here's the problem with it. The Reds didn't sweep. No. They got swept. Right. And so I feel really bad. Like, While You Swept, So, yeah, While You Swept here rolls on in the Memorial Tournament. You've been. Have you been?
I've been many times.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you've been. The Memorial Tournament over the weekend. JT Poston handles business. Goes down to the wire. I feel like it always goes down to the wire.
It's always a good one.
Poston handled business, though.
Yeah, it's a tough last couple holes always at the Memorial, and it was another great round this year. So, certainly great to always see everyone out there. It's cool that they've upped these purses for some of these, non-major events to make sure all the guys continue to play. And the Memorial's one of those that continues to get great groups out there. So, another one and a great win for Potson.
Postman is awesome.
Yeah. Great caption.
It's great nickname.
Fantastic.
And give me all of the playoffs. Speaking of playoffs, The Stanley Cup is the best Stanley Cup in the history of Stanley Cups.
In the history of Stanley Cups. It's not an exaggeration.
No, it's not. Vegas finding a way over Carolina over the weekend. They're up 2-1. I hope this goes 7. I hope every game is like this, where it's a 1 goal, one way or the other. Crazy rally by Carolina to make it tight. Goes into OT. Vegas found a way.
They did. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and this is one of those series I'm really, really hoping it goes 7 because I don't know if we're going to get 7 in the NBA finals, and so we need one of these finals to go the 7 and give us what we need. But no, this has been exciting. I mean, the Golden Knights all season long have just been such a fun team, and as we've seen them go through these playoffs, but I don't know, Carolina. It's I don't know.
I thought Carolina was going to shock the. I mean, look at this. They're down 4-0. You're thinking it's over.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was over. And then I looked at my phone. I was like, no, it is not over. And I love how the Golden Knights are playing throughout the playoffs. They've been awesome, and they're up 2-1 following this win. But Carolina, there's something about it. Like that's what I think. I can't really obviously think, despite what the Knicks have done, the Spurs have a real chance here. But the Knicks are up 2-0 going to the Garden. And once they blew the lead, that 14-point lead in the fourth, I was like, the Knicks are going to lose this one. It'll be 1-1. Everyone's going to pick San Antonio. And Victor Wembanyama, struggling down the stretch, a really ugly turnover.
I don't know. It's the way that they lost that game, like you said, with that turnover. It's just it reminded me a lot of the Cavs losing that game 1 against the Knicks, where it's just so deflating, and it could be changing the tone of the rest of the series. I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs get a game, maybe 2. Just the way the Knicks have been playing, they've been playing like a team that this is like destined to have this championship. I just don't see them losing this series, and especially when you have a guy like Jalen Brunson, who has been so clutch throughout these playoffs, and really shining in those big moments.
Yeah, I love how he's playing. It's been fun. I mean, that shot is just insane. Insane. And then this, I got to be honest, the Knicks, when Brunson missed that second free throw, I thought for sure that the Spurs were going to win. And then when you get Wemby wide open like that, perfect look, got to drill it. The Knicks hang on. If you're the Knicks, you got to get 1 in the Garden minimum. In Game 3, your season's on the line, Spurs. You can't go down 3-0. I still believe the Spurs can win this series, but not if they go down 3-0.
Yeah, Brunson's been great. Cat's been great. Really, the whole supporting cast has been phenomenal for the Knicks so far. Karl-Anthony Towns joins a crazy list. Only 3 7-footers in NBA history have averaged at least 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in a single postseason, minimum 8 games. Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and this year's Karl-Anthony Towns. It has been unbelievable for Towns. He's the odds-on favorite for Finals MVP right now, and he is just one of the easiest players to root for in the entire league. Back-to-back 10-point comeback wins for the Knicks. They are playing as good as anyone, maybe ever. This hot streak right now is unbelievable, and to do it through the Eastern Conference Finals, through the finals, playing the best competition, you'll play all year in the biggest moments. It's unbelievable, and they're built for this.
And also, no team has gone down 0-2, losing both of those games at home, and came back to win the finals too. So the Spurs have a tall task.
So it's so funny because the Knicks, speaking of villains, are used to being the villain. Like I feel like that's a very much a thing. This team is so likable. Like I think they're so they work hard. Jalen Brunson wasn't a top pick. You got our guy Deuce McBride, Pride of Moeller here, making big shots and playing a huge role. Karl-Anthony Towns was like a borderline bust in Minnesota at times. Like not a bust, but what is he really? He's reached another level where his playmaking ability, his ability to pass it, dish, all of those things. And yet I still look at it, and I hope you're right. Team of destiny, all of those things, and how many games they've won in a row, everything like that. Like that Atlanta series feels like forever ago.
CJ McCollum had him down 2-1.
Yeah. And since then they haven't lost.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand. And I'm like I hear that stat and I'm like, man, Wemby, like everything we said about the Spurs is still true. Like it's still very true. It's still very possible. And I still, as weird as it sounds, if the Spurs win Game 3, which is obviously tonight, feels like there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Knicks. And so if you're the Knicks, just get it done in game 3, because otherwise, if you're going into that game 4, it's going to feel like the weight of New York and the basketball world is on your shoulders with an alien on the other side.
For sure. So much of the conversation around the Spurs going into the Western Conference Finals against the Thunder was that teams can't win it on their first go, right? You need to grow, you need the experience. Then when you get back to the playoffs the second time with the same core, then you have a chance to win the championship. After they beat the Thunder in Game 7, I think a lot of us just kind of removed that talking point from our minds because they proved they could beat a championship contender, the defending champion, best team, odds-on favorite Oklahoma City Thunder. But for these first 2 games, I don't think there's been anything that stood out more to me, that this team is not ready for a finals moment like this. So maybe they can figure it out before Game 3. If not, this one will be wrapped up pretty quickly. But I don't think this means anything long-term for the Spurs. This is still a great young core for this team. They're going to be back. Wemby's going to be a great player for a long time.
Don't do that. What are you doing?
I've seen a lot of people talking about this core and you might have to blow it up. Fox's contract is huge. You have 3 guards playing the same position.
It's far from over.
I agree.
One way, yeah, like this, ridiculous. Any move that the Spurs might make, they might make if they win anyway. Like Fox
I think
could
Fox
be moved
is potentially on the
By the way, if I'm the Knicks, pressure, because he's the only one who could dribble. They have no one who could dribble. It's an NBA Finals. They got one guard who can dribble.
Legitimately one guy who can dribble. It's insane. Like, you'd think that's an overreaction. Steph Castle played point guard 2 games. He had 20 turnovers.
Because he's not a point guard. Right? In that, it'd be like asking Josh Hart to play point guard. Like, that's a lot to do. So, time to make picks. We have plenty of time to make our Game 3 picks. We'll do that later in the show. But, like, how realistic is it that the Spurs rally here? Or are you getting the Cavs vibes? Because it feels like you're getting the Cavs vibes.
I mean, I know you said they haven't lost since they were down 2-1 in Atlanta. They also haven't lost since The Devil Wears Prada 2 came out and Cavs' appearance in that. I don't know. It's weird.
Anne Hathaway.
There's something to say about it. I very much have Eastern Conference Finals vibes with this. I don't think it will be a sweep. I just don't think the Knicks.
I hope you're right. Knicks fans deserve it. Yeah. They deserve it. Like,
Knicks fans deserve nothing.
Yeah, you can't say that.
They're Yankees fans.
No. What? So?
Shocker. They're
I can't split fans.
Yeah, they're way separate. It's way different. This would be the biggest title we've seen in such a long time in any professional sport because of
really
way bigger than the Cavs title.
I was thinking about the Cubs winning the World Series.
Yeah, so that's it. It's Cubs, and then before that, what? Like it really is. Like it's that comp. Like there's not many if they do it, but the pressure's on them to do it. And they're used to heartbreak in New York. Yeah. So we will see. I'm certainly rooting for the Knicks. I have been the whole time. Hopefully they get it done. We'll dive into the NBA more, but it's time to switch things up. Let's talk a little Bengals. We will do that next. Just getting started here on a Monday right here on First Word.
The Crown has you covered. Start your day with First Word, Cincinnati's only morning sports show. Power through midday with the working lunch, Cincinnati business talk that keeps you in the know. Nat tries that for lifestyle around the city, and the Rebound Rundown covers every corner of the college basketball scene in the tri-state and beyond. This is The Crown. First Word for your morning sports, Nat tries that for lifestyle around the city, the working lunch for business that hits home, and Rebound Rundown for college hoops. This city deserves its crown. Watch, listen, subscribe.
In the room. Prediction time.
Okay.
Does DJ get paid before the start of the regular season?
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, that's my prediction. Yeah, I agree with that. I think you have to. I think you kind of have to. If you're going to do all of this work, all this construction on this roster to change everything, why would you not, flip over that last stone and get that thing done? That has to be done. That, to me, was one of the priorities of the offseason. They've gone above and beyond all of the other priorities of trying to fix this defense. Now that you've added all these pieces to make it better, there's this one thing that's saying, fix me, take care of me. Take care of that, and I think you've had a winning offseason. It's already been. You've got the team and the defense right now to go out there and get to where you want to go. But you still have to take care of
This is the Rebound Rundown. I'm your host, Paul Fritchner. Your home for college basketball in the Cincinnati area and across the country every Monday through Friday during the season. previews, recaps, breakdowns, interviews, and more. You can find it all right here. Your one-stop shop for a quick dose of college hoops on your morning commute. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
My name is Jack Crumley. I've been covering news in Cincinnati on the radio for the last 20 years. I grew up in Northeast Ohio, but Cincinnati has always felt like home since day one. I've seen so many things accomplished here, and now, with the Working Lunch, I get to write, read, and talk about them every day. Hard-working people with a drive and a dream. Innovative ideas that help shape this city. Cincinnati is a great city, and I'm excited to tell you about it every day. Cincinnati, home to more than a dozen Fortune 500 companies. A city where you know someone who knows someone, and you're in business. Every weekday at noon, The Working Lunch brings you headlines from local businesses, along with exclusive interviews with owners and local leaders. East Side, West Side, northern suburbs, downtown over the Rhine, and northern Kentucky. Real conversations, real Cincinnati. The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, weekdays at noon, only on The Crown.
Let's keep it rolling here on First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa, Contipelli, and Jacob Tissot. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11.
Always open?
Always open right here on The Crown. Right here on The Crown. There we go. Is that good?
You throw me off because sometimes it's just
I do this.
7 to 11 right here on The Crown. And then sometimes he gives me the point and he wants the always open.
Always open. That was
keeps me on my toes.
That was new
Always open,
last week. There's a new development last week where I would point to him because during our test shows, guess what I would do? I would say always open. So there we go.
That's what we call a peek behind the curtain.
A peek.
I like that.
Where's the curtains?
Inside baseball.
There's
open.
the curtains. Inside baseball is wild. What a wild line. Who would ever say that? Who would ever drop that? I don't know anyone that would say inside baseball. Speaking of baseball, well, we're not talking baseball. We're talking football. We're talking Myles Murphy. That's a heck of a transition. Is it time for the Bengals to pay Myles Murphy? They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, but the defensive end market starting to get set. And I think this is interesting because you got the tale of two different contracts here. The first one, let's start in division with Herbig, because Nick Herbig agreeing to a 4-year massive contract with the Steelers worth $100 million, $42 million guaranteed. David Mulligetta was the one that got this. No, it wasn't David Mulligetta. It feels like a Mulligetta deal, but One of One Football was able to get this deal done. So Herbig, awesome player, $42 million guaranteed, $100 million. Meanwhile, you look at Derek Hall and the Seahawks, and they agreed to a 3-year, $42 million extension that could be worth up to $46.5 million with $21 million guaranteed. He had 2 sacks and a forced fumble in Super Bowl 60. Here's what's interesting. If you're telling me Myles Murphy 4 for 100, I think you punt it to the sun because the Bengals would never do that.
Yeah.
But if it's the other side and it's 3 for 42, the Bengals might do that today. But would Myles do that today? Is that something that both sides would be interested in? I do wonder. And so it's interesting to see both sides of this. I will say this. I think Nick Herbig is viewed much differently in NFL circles than Hall or Murphy.
Thus the price point there.
No doubt. But I'm just saying the contract backs it up. So I don't think that's necessarily a comp. The Bengals would roll their eyes at that. But I want to mention that because that deal got done last week. Hall got done last week as well. What do you guys think this means for Myles?
In my opinion, Myles Murphy falls squarely in between these two players. And I think the question would be, what price point are the Bengals comfortable at meeting him at? I would be shocked if Murphy would accept that Derek Hall deal. 3 years, $42 million, only $21 million of it fully guaranteed. I don't think that is the route Myles Murphy would go. I think, obviously, all speculation. I think it's just something he would be able to bet on himself at that point and think that he could have an opportunity to have a much better season this year and attack a bigger contract in free agency. Nick Herbig, I think, is a clear tier above Myles Murphy.
He's a dog.
Yeah,
the Bengals were bummed. They were excited for Myles Garrett to get out of the division. They were bummed to see Nick Herbig resign. I'm serious.
I like Herbig a lot, and for him to put up these numbers without being an every down player, not even a starter on that defense, is great. But Derek Hall, there you can see the production, and so much conversation about Murphy's production as well. Only 5.5 sacks last year, none the year before, 3 his rookie year, but still more than Derek Hall last season. So I do think Murphy falls in between, certainly not inching towards the 25 range, but I don't think 3 for 42 gets anywhere near getting it done.
See, I don't know. I disagree. I think 3 for 42 could be a number worth exploring. I mean, I feel because the 2025 stats for Derek Hall, I think, are a little misleading. You have to look at his 2024 season, where he started 14 games for Seattle. He had 8 sacks in that season. Like you said, the most Myles has had is 5.5. So I don't know. I'm still in the camp of the Bengals and Murphy, kind of waiting to see how he plays this season. At this point, you already didn't pick up the 5th-year option. What's the rush of getting an extension done? I think they could absolutely wait to make sure that they're going to get the most for their investment, and you're not just paying Myles where you need to see it a little bit more on tape.
Hall has 10 sacks over the past 2 seasons. Murphy has 5.5. He didn't have any. Both same draft class, didn't have any in 2024. What's interesting about this is there were 9 picks in between each. Myles Murphy was the 28th pick, and then you got Hall, who was the 37th overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft. I think you're probably right that it's somewhere in the middle, but it's like a few million more than Hall. Hall is the market setter. If the Bengals are going to get a deal done with Murphy this offseason, that's it. It's somewhere in that range, in the $45-ish million range. Maybe there are incentives to get it to 50. And if he's not going to do that, then I just don't think a deal gets done. Because if you're the Bengals, why would you go higher than that when he has a lot to prove still? And that's where I think this gets interesting is the Herbig one. It's worth mentioning because it happened in the same vicinity, but he's on a whole different playing field, whole different level. Yeah. And that's almost like TJ Watt insurance long term for the Steelers.
Insurance or
now? Sure. Yeah. Either way, however you want to view it, but that's it. That's your long term pass rusher. You look at this, and it like Hall and Murphy are pretty similar. So maybe it's 3 for 50. That's
right around
probably the max that the Bengals would go. And that's probably incentives and.
I like the incentive idea.
Yeah,
and make
3
it
for 45.
heavily incentive based because Murphy hasn't really proven yet why he was a first-round pick.
Wow. So you're
What's
your overall outlook?
I like
Myles
Myles as a player. I just think he has a lot to prove still.
That's fair.
He does for sure.
You're more sold on Myles.
I'm in on Myles. I think Myles is a really good player in this defense, and he's going to be a difference maker this year. And part of that belief is because I think he has to be in order for this defense to get to where I think they need to get to. So I believe in Myles Murphy. I think it would be a mistake for the Bengals to let him walk at this state of their defense, an ascending young player at a position where you're hoping that some of these young guys continue to take steps forward. And Myles Murphy showed that through the end of last year. So anything below that 3 for 50 range, staying around $15 million a year, I think I'd sign tomorrow.
I think that's where I'm okay with waiting and seeing because you have Shamar Stewart, you're hoping to develop a little more. Cassius Howell is a second-round pick for a reason. So you finally have depth on that defensive line. And, absolutely love the strides that Myles took last year and hoping he can build on those 5.5 sacks. For me, I'm okay waiting and seeing how he performs, how he plays, because if he balls out and gets close to double-digit sacks, then he's absolutely deserved that contract. But because you have depth, that's where I think the Bengals can kind of wait and see how 2026 shapes out.
But if he balls out and gets that double-digit sacks, he's probably going elsewhere.
Or the number's going to, obviously.
That's what I mean. I don't think the Bengals are paying him if he has that breakout season unless they lock him up before he breaks out.
What if they pay him? Right, it's 3 for 50. Let's just say 3 for 50, and he has 2 sacks this year.
Wouldn't feel great.
I'm just going the opposite way because everyone always looks, what happens if he balls out? Well, sure, no doubt.
For sure.
You could say that about any guy. But what if the other side happens? Then you're like, spent a lot of money on Mafe and Murphy, and what if the pass rush just isn't there off the edge?
That's the
Wouldn't
worry.
feel great.
Yeah.
So there's hopefully a middle ground where I think I'm really set on that $15 million per. Hey, we got you more than Derek Hall. You were drafted ahead of him. But that's what, if I'm Miles, that's what I'm looking at. I want more than Derek Hall.
Well, you're certainly not going below that.
No, I think that sets the market. That sets the market. So, yeah, 3 for 45. Is Miles turning that down? I always go to that. Like, is he turning that down if it's, I don't know, $22 million to sign right now, 3 for 45 with another $5 million in incentives? That's the question that we'll get the answer to. And I don't think anything would happen before training camp, but it's one of the many, many contract extensions that the Bengals have on their plate that we could and will talk about right here on First Word. Up next, well, let's talk about the Reds pitching staff. It is rough. Confidence level in their starters. We'll dive into that coming up next. Jeremy Fowler is our guest of ESPN. Jeremy, in NFL circles, are the Bengals viewed as a contender again? They've missed the playoffs 3 straight years. They make this big swing for Dexter Lawrence. Obviously, you mentioned Joe Burrow and the skill guys that they have. Are they viewed that way?
They are viewed as, in a wide-open AFC North, a contender. If you can get out of that division and you can just get in the dance, they're viewed as a team still like they were 3 or 4 years ago where anything's possible, right? Like you've seen the games they played against Kansas City when KC was in their prime. And it's one of those things where even when they lost, it felt like they probably should have won or they dropped the ball or a play away from winning. That element there still exists. You know, it's tough though because winning is infectious. And losing is infectious too a little bit. So you can't just assume that year to year you're going to be able to bounce back. But this league is built on parity. If you've had some down years, as long as you are building the roster the right way and have enough personnel, it can flip from 7 wins to 11 wins pretty quickly. I mean, you see that league wide.
I gotta go somewhere to eat this now. Holy. Look at this. This is item number 4. This is the strawberry cookie dream bowl from Davis Cookie Collection. Whipped cream again on top, some cookie crumble, a strawberry cookie, and then that's gotta be ice cream. And they made this to order with some strawberry syrup on top. Ooh-wee. It's like, you know, when you get a dip top, I always get the strawberry dip top. Oh, this is delicious. Oh yeah. Ooh. All right, the more rest in your mouth, the better. I can feel my hips expanding. Worth it. Thank you so much. Woo-wee! Look at these. All right, here we go. The Wicked Hickory brisket sandwich. Oh, this looks good. Oh, yeah. Eating brisket after ice cream is tough. Hello, I don't know if I have.
They did. Yeah, you can cover that up. So they did a change on it. The snack and bites are the meatball.
Gotcha. You know what? You're not even on. You're not on my list.
Oh, you missed out, dude.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Next year. Huh?
You seem great. I want to eat this man's food. Damn. Heck yeah. Be careful. Thank you so much.
Enjoy, honey.
All right, this is a bruschetta grilled cheese topped with a balsamic glaze. Let's go. Oh, let's get in there. Woo! Ooh. You know, sometimes your mouth waters so much it hurts. That's what's happening right now. Look how beautiful that is. It looks like a crab. Isn't that cute? All right, to be honest, if I could, I would just give everybody a 10 out of a 10. You know, everyone gets a 5 Yelp score for me.
First Word rolls on a Monday. Hopefully you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We are going to hear from Orlando Brown Jr., Ted Karras, and everything you missed from launch week. Why? Well, it's in case you missed it, because we know Marisa did. So all of that coming up in just a bit here on First Word. It's my favorite.
I love the shrug.
It's the best. It's the best. And by the way, we might be able to haul shrug here. Your confidence level in all of the Red starters, not named Chase Burns or Andrew Abbott, it's pretty tough here. And we saw all three over the weekend. Brady Singer, we see Nick Lodolo, we see Rhett Lauder. And Rhett Lauder clearly not himself, not yet, not pitching deep into the game at all, only going 3 innings, 5 walks. And so let's rank them most confident to least confident. And I'm going to hit the shrug, because I think it's Nick Lodolo, but I still don't feel great about Lodolo. Lodolo takes the cake here for me. I'm most confident in him of the 3 as of today. Lauder hopefully pushes that a bit. The problem is it's not like Lodolo's really earned it. I don't think he's all the way back yet. And that's what really stinks, is he's not back. It's not like he went 7 on Saturday. Brady Singer has forgot his voice. His voice is gone. And so with Lauder's injury, Lodolo still coming back from the blister, not looking fully like himself, and Singer really hasn't showed up at all this season. I'm not confident in any of these guys.
No. Yeah, no.
Go, Marisa, go.
I think no. This was a tough one. It's tough. Hunter Green, when you back?
Yeah.
No, this was a tough one. I think I get the Nick Lodolo argument. I think I have to go Rhett Lauder, just because before his injury, we definitely saw a few more flashes of it. I know command's been a thing for this entire rotation and pitching staff at times, but I liked what I saw out of Lauder when some of his starts in April when he was going a little bit deeper into games. So hopefully, what we had seen yesterday with him only able to go 3 innings, around 70 pitches, and unfortunately had those 5 walks, is just a blip on his way back to hopefully getting to how he was in April.
I'm a 4 for this group on a 1 to 10. My confidence level is a 4.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea, I'm at a 4. And Lodolo and Lauder's potential is really carrying it to a 4 out of 10. That's not good.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
At this point, for me, it's a coin flip between Lodolo and Lauder, and it's just which one's small sample size, either at the beginning of the season or years ago, do you believe in them getting back 2 more? And I think maybe it's Lauder, but overcoming a walks issue is a little bit harder of a hill to climb than Lodolo just dialing in his breaking ball a little bit more. So I think I will lean Lodolo just a little bit because of the issues Lauder is having, and I don't know how easy they will be to fix. I thought it was fixed in AAA when he threw 50 strikes and 20 balls, but was not the case on Sunday. And then Brady Singer, over the weekend, honestly had one of the better starts he's had in a while. I know the length wasn't there, but only 1 earned run on the home run. Gave the Reds a chance to win after 4 innings of pitching, but it shows how bad of a spot we're in terms of confidence in one of your 5 starters when 4 innings of 1-run baseball is something you're thrilled to see. So Singer has been as bad as it could be, and it's an even tougher pill to swallow when you remember he's making $12.5 million.
Yeah, it's bad. I think by the end of the year, 2 of the 3 are going to come around. Brady Singer, I've held on. It's June 8th. It's time to let go. He's going to have to make me grab the rope again. And the only way he does that is by pitching better. I believe Rhett Lauder is going to be a guy. I think Nick Lodolo is going to be a guy. Not sure about our guy Brady Singer.
Real quick with Brady Singer, the last time he made a start and did not give up an earned run was August 12th of last year.
He's lost his last 6 trips to the bump.
Man. It's been a while. If you missed it last week, well, you're going to get caught up next. Ted Karras, Orlando Brown Jr., and more. In case you missed it, because we know Marisa did, is next right here on First Word.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
We welcome you from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Nick Hand with the fan favorite to put it away. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
If that's the plan, I would understand it. I'm not sure it is. They may be viewing it as, we got to get to Hunter Green land. And then we'll
Hunter Green
it.
changes a lot of things if he comes back and he's Hunter Green.
And so that's it. Because if you're saying Chase Burns is starting every other because of the innings limit, and you have Hunter Green, well, it feels much different. Every Burns start right now feels insanely important because you know that you're going to get a good start. And at some point, maybe that changes, but it is felt locked down. Like we were talking about cornerbacks, it feels locked down from a starter perspective that he's going to pitch well for you. So if you get that until Hunter Green comes back, and then you go every other, and Rhett Lauder's ready to go, and maybe Brady Singer starts singing. And well, you think about it, and you look at it, like Nick Lodolo and Andrew Abbott, they've started to come on. Abbott had a great month of May, fought through it yesterday, still good enough. And then Lodolo might have a swag back. It might
certainly
be back.
Looks that way.
Don't look yet all the way. Maybe leave one eye. But if that's the case, now suddenly that rotation is a strength. And Burns helped keep you above water, and now you can dial it back some.
Absolutely.
Keep him safe. Like that, I assume that's their plan. But man, that means that Lauder, need to see you Sunday. Pitched well yesterday. Five innings, no walks, 3 runs, 8 strikeouts in
70
AAA
pitches,
Louisville.
50 strikes.
It's good.
Pounding the zone.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's good.
Unreal.
I
He
thought you
doesn't
were
throw it like that.
I thought you were questioning.
Like, unbelievable.
And that was something pre-injury that we were noticing early in games.
Lose
was
the command.
Yeah. So hopefully Lauder comes back. Hopefully Burns pitches well if he's on the mound. And hopefully that's their plan. I think I just solved it.
My name is Jacob Tissot, and I'm a co-host of First Word from 7 to 11 every morning right here on the Crown Network, where we will break down the biggest stories in Cincinnati sports. I'm a graduate of the University of Alabama, where I spent 4 seasons working for the football team as a student assistant, contributing to the 2020 National Championship and 3 SEC championships. I'm a Cincinnati native, a St. Xavier High School graduate, and will bring a local perspective and passion to covering the Bengals, Reds, and everything in between. I'm excited to have you join us on First Word.
Hi, my name is Natalie Jones, a Cincinnati native, and I have been in media for about 10 years now. Formerly on the radio here in Cincinnati, I grew my love and obsession with finding all things fun in Cincinnati and have now made it my life. I'm originally from the west side here, and then I've pretty much been a downtown girl ever since college. But I did leave for 7 years, and during that time, I really grew and harnessed and cut my teeth doing stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, learning how to ski in Colorado, and now I'm back here in Cincinnati, driven by curiosity and grounded by family.
First Word rolls on here on a Monday. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a lovely morning. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday. 7 to 11, always open. No, we don't need you, Jacob, for that one. Right here on The Crown. You can watch live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook today, live as well. If you want to listen, take us with you on the go on Mixler, of course, on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. And make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, where nearly 5,000 of you have already hit subscribe. And check out all of our other shows as well, including The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, live weekdays, noon to 1, right here on The Crown. Let's dive into everything that you might have missed, that Marisa Contipelli missed during our launch week. And I apologize. At least I didn't pull a Steve Radicevic clip, because one of the best highlights
that would have been fun
of launch week was Marisa going one-on-one with the Bengals assistant GM. So just like that, even though you weren't here for the live portions, you did get to talk to Steve.
I did. I had a great conversation with Steve and wanted to make sure I was still involved in the show in some capacity. So I had the great conversation with Steve. Also talked with FC Cincinnati goalkeeper Roman Celentano. We had some countdowns in there. So I missed a lot. I didn't miss too much, though.
No, you did not. So if you want to check out the interviews with Steve or Roman, you can on our YouTube channel right now. And you can also check this out. Orlando Brown Jr. in studio was sitting right where Marisa was on Friday. Really good stuff on the state of the offensive line?
For me, I just think the way he's moving so much better. Believe it or not, he's even gotten stronger in the weight room. I mean, this guy is crazy, bro. I hope one of my kids has this like genetic ability somehow, some way. But like, I mean, he's insane in terms of just like some of his movements, and his strength has even gotten better. And he's just more seasoned now too, man.
Yeah.
He's seen it. Tackle is a position of feel, and you know he's seen so much of great rushers, so many great rushers, and played against a lot of really good players, man. You know he's gonna be able to take that next step.
How about the other Bulldog on that offensive line?
Oh, yeah.
Dylan Fairchild
Yes,
had
sir.
a great rookie year, one of the most exciting rookies in the league last year.
Yeah.
What kind of steps is he going to take in his second season?
Yeah, man, Dill's another guy that this offseason, I mean, he's moving much quicker. He's much more seasoned. You know, I think for Dill, just finding his version of winning football, just like all of us coming in as young players, it's always tough, especially when you're kind of thrown into the fire early.
Yeah.
And so he was the guy from the moment he got here, being at left guard. And so he's really just had the opportunity for one to grow, but he's been living in that fire for a while. And so, you know, it started to kind of cool down for him sometime in December last year, or even before that, but like just in terms of the speed of Sundays. But he's gotten so much better, man, just the way he's moving and his focus and his fundamentals.
Would any of the other offensive linemen beat him in a wrestling match?
No.
I mean, Mims is a freak.
Yeah.
You're a freak, but Dylan is like the state champ undefeated. Yeah.
Dill's really good, bro. Like we all kind of have done like this wrestling deal. Like
Sure.
Coach Scott had us do like.
I'm shocked that he had you do that.
Yeah,
No,
this is
I was going to say throw his hat in the ring.
Like funny story. Every Friday, Cody Ford tries Scott Peters with some type of like jiu-jitsu wrestling move. And Cody's never done jiu-jitsu or wrestling. And so the first time he did it, I mean, it took Cody probably, I'm going to say 9-10 weeks into the season to build up the courage to do this. And so every Friday he would say, he'd be like, man, you know, I'm going to get Scott. And we think he was joking. So like I said, it's week 9 or week 10, whoever we're playing. And so we're in Friday. Scott's like putting a little zen in or something and staring. And Cody comes behind him and tries to like straight up put him in like a chokehold. And I never seen someone like, I mean, it was like out of a movie. Like he flipped Cody on his back, put him in like something. I mean it was ridiculous. Like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I just would recommend, man, if you live in the city of Cincinnati, don't mess with Scott Peters. So.
That is hilarious. Cody's not small. Cody's huge. You know, he's an offensive lineman. Scott's a former lineman, but like Cody's bigger than Scott now, and he flips him.
Yes, no problem. Yeah.
I'm never messing with Scott.
Yeah, don't mess with Scott.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not wrestling Scott Peters ever. Never planned on it. We saw him last week. Not touching him. No chance.
Not gonna lie, this shocks me, just given the fact of, okay, you said you can eat more tacos than Dexter Lawrence, and you're not gonna try to wrestle Scott Peters? What? You are the most confident person I've ever met.
Far more confident in my ability to out-eat Dexter Lawrence than I am to wrestle Scott Peters, the guy who trained Brock Lesnar.
Same chance.
No chance.
Same chance.
No chance. No.
Equal chance.
No. No way. No way.
I think you might have a better chance against Scott than
No
that.
No chance. What? I love that. I think I love that. I think I actually really do love that.
After meeting Dexter a couple weeks ago and seeing how massive he is standing next to him, no way you're eating more than him. No way.
Yeah,
negative percent.
I'm trying to flip this into confidence in me, and I know it comes from lack of confidence in me in both. I get it. I understand. You don't try Scott Peters. Cody, what are you? He flipped. Cody's way bigger than Scott Peters. Like bigger. He's a bigger human right now at this stage of life. I would not mess. He trained Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is an animal. Like
it's all about leverage. If you know how to do it, you know how to do it, and the size doesn't matter quite as much. Peters just flipping him over his shoulder. Unbelievable image to have in my head. It'd be scary if I was in the O-line room. Not a lot of those guys can usually be out wrestled, and now the new O-line coach can take you down whenever he wants.
Yeah, the thing is Dylan's. The question was about Dylan. You know how Orlando kind of bypassed it. I'll speak for Dylan. And Dylan, you're welcome on the show anytime. He would whoop the rest of the line.
Yeah.
Whoop him. And I probably should have said it
Sean Strickland last summer.
When Ted or Orlando were here. I didn't have the guts to do that, clearly, but Ted Karras was here, and he was awesome. By the way, all of Orlando is on our YouTube channel. Just follow it at First Word Cincy. All of Ted also on our YouTube channel. Here's part of our conversation from last week since Marisa missed it. I don't want to say how much you celebrated or not. I know there's been a lot of celebration this week in Cincinnati when number 95 gets traded from Cleveland. And Myles Garrett, no longer in Cleveland, ends up with the Rams. If you have to see him in Super Bowl 61, great. That's a great problem to have.
That's a great problem to have.
But he's not in the North anymore. What was your reaction? Did you guys celebrate?
I mean, it wasn't a celebration, but I mean, Jared Verse isn't any slouch now. But he's not Myles Garrett, and credit to Myles for all that he's done. Certainly makes Cleveland feel a little less cumbersome. It's still going to be the Cleveland Browns out there, and they have a lot of good players. Malik Collins is coming back. Now they have Jared Verse. They have a lot of good young guys, Mason Graham. So they still have a very dynamic defense. But without 95 out there, I'm sure they're going to have to make some adjustments. So I can't believe we don't play them till December. So
yeah, no doubt. I'm surprised, but 2 times in the final 7 weeks. 2 times in the final
7, yeah. So we'll see what they look like. I guess we'll get a nice sample size to see what the defense looks like without Myles Garrett. But obviously, always great to see arguably one of the best players of all time leave the division.
Do you think Joe had a smile?
I mean, everyone had a smile. I wouldn't say it was like a big celebration, but it was, it's on.
It's a pain.
I
mean, preparing for Dexter's what?
Good for LA, man. Where they just print money over there? What are they, cap scientists?
Cap scientists and F them picks.
I was going to say something about them picks.
Yeah.
I mean, they've traded multiple ones this offseason.
Which I don't think is a bad strategy. Look at us this year. I mean,
I think it's the strategy.
If someone will take your one for a proven player, what are first round picks hitting at? About 35%?
Right. At an elite level, way late.
Yeah,
in
10%.
Myles is one of one. Like, there's no one like him.
One, yeah.
Because how many times do you get asked about an edge rusher?
Very few times.
But he's a guy that lines up everywhere.
He'll line up everywhere. He's a very dynamic and scary player. So glad he's in the what is that? The NFC West.
Yeah, the NFC West.
Yeah. So. NFC.
That's like the farthest away division in my mind than the AFC North.
Absolutely. You talked about the Rams trading multiple first-round picks this year. A lot of contenders around the league trading those first-round picks for proven players. What does it say about the Bengals franchise to enter that group this offseason, trading the 10th pick for a proven player like Lawrence?
I think they're being very aggressive, and I think they, obviously this is one of the most illustrious off seasons that we've had in a long time. So really excited for how they're doing business, and now it's up to us and the coaching staff to go out there and put a good product on for the city.
It's no secret that Ted Karras is a fashion forward when it comes to the Cincy hat and the CincyHat.com, but you've been raving since we did that, and that entire conversation with Ted Karras is on our YouTube channel at First Word Cincy. But you have been raving about that crew neck. You want the Skyline crew neck.
I spent all weekend searching the crevices of Cincinnati to try to find a crew neck somewhere. It doesn't look like they're for sale, at least in the skylines around me, but I will not stop my search.
Are we going to have to ask Ted where he got it from?
We might.
Ooh.
Hey,
Hit
Ted.
him up.
No. I will not call him during the show, but it is.
I will not rest until that crew neck is in my closet.
I get it, man.
I believe that.
Honestly,
Thank you.
Now I just want to throw it right here, some cheese. Anyways, Myles Garrett got traded. That's one of the things you missed.
Yeah, I did.
Ted Karras obviously benefited from that. That's one of the many things we discussed with Ted. Please check it out wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. When you saw the Myles trade, which probably was when you're hiking or done hiking or whatever, what went through your mind and how beneficial is it, as you know, for this Bengals team?
My friend and I were getting ready to go on a hike out there in the Grand Canyon, and I get the notification on my phone, and I'm like, yes, let's go. And my friend, who is from Cleveland and a Browns fan, looked at me. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, oh no. And so I had to tell her. So I got to break the news to her. And she immediately just deflated, and I was like, I'm excited. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely shocked, though. I did not think Cleveland would actually move on from Myles and just everything he's meant to that organization. Fantastic. I think, Ted might have downplayed it a little bit. I think it's great that Joe Burrow doesn't have to face him now twice a year, and hopefully the only time you see him is in the Super Bowl.
I think he downplayed it because the cameras were on. I think if the cameras were off, he'd be like, yeah, this is the best thing ever because 95 is a ball. I mean, he's a nightmare. And so huge. I don't think it can be overstated, him being out of the division. Even with Jared Verse being good and them getting assets, Myles Garrett changes everything.
Exactly.
Well, the pie in the sky dream for the Browns is that in 2 or 3 years, Jared Verse is maybe close to Myles Garrett.
Yes.
Still not even a 23 sack guy. So I love Jared Verse. I think he's a really great player, but what a huge win.
Oh, absolutely. I think every other team in the AFC North won this trade more than Cleveland did.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Rams are the only other winners because now they're kind of loaded with you when you look at their team. But no, this is great news for the Bengals. And yeah, no more excuses to letting Joe Burrow be on his back against Cleveland.
No Miles. Max Crosby got backed out of in Baltimore after the Herbert extension. Some decent conversation about the Steelers potentially moving off TJ Watt at some point. All 3 of those edge rushers out of the North. I guess Max Crosby never really got here, but there was so much talk about what it could look like this season for the Bengals, and it could look exactly the opposite.
The Baltimore Ravens are liars, and I will never associate myself with them.
I repeat.
I'll repeat it. The Baltimore Ravens are liars, and I will never associate with them after what they did with the Max Crosby deal. Those that know about the James Harden line will understand that. If you don't, it's okay. It's no big deal. But we have plenty to get to here. That's everything you missed, Marisa. You can check out all of those interviews on our YouTube channel. Just search First Word with James Rapien. We'll continue the conversation next, right here on First Word.
Hi, my name is Natalie Jones. Just your typical 40-year-old Cincinnati girl. Although, no, I'm not married or divorced. I don't have any kids, and I don't live in the neighborhood I grew up in, which is the West Side, by the way. But what I do have is a lot of freaking time, and I've been using it well. So come along with me on this grand adventure, because I've been trying all the new shit around town that you need to know about. This is Nat Tries That.
I mean, I've enjoyed being here, especially these days. Like, the food scene's incredible. The art's incredible. I mean, again, there's opportunities for everything. We were just talking. I just booked a big nationwide commercial, and I shot it on a weekend up near Mason. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome to me.
Well, and we've got, in terms of your filmmaking work,
I
first came to know your work through a little short film, there it is.
Yes.
Called Chilluminati.
Yes.
Which was a submission into the very first Independent Film Festival in 2018.
Yeah.
That's how I met you. Tell people about Chilluminati.
So when I first moved to Cincinnati, I thought it was very weird that there was what I've lovingly referred to as a chili-based economy here. And I was just like, it's fascinating to me that there are these 2 chain restaurants that compete solely with each other as far as, obviously there's the mom and pop places too. I don't want to belittle them. But I was like, you're telling me there's one blue chili brand and one red chili brand? And I was like, this is BS. There's just got to be one Greek guy at the top of this that invented the recipe. It was like, all right, the family split off. And so for years, I would joke with my friends, that were natives here. I'm like, oh, the chili mafia. You know what I mean? All this, it was like, be careful. And don't get me wrong, I adopted Cincinnati chili.
Sure.
Like, it's one of my own.
It's big business in this town. You're right.
It is.
A
I need to be a
chili-based
part
economy.
of it.
That's really good.
But I do love it. And then it all came to fruition when this came out of one of the 48-hour film projects. Because that was just one of those ones where I think me and my team at the time were all just, a couple of us worked together, and we were all just a little depressed, and we're like, we need to make a passion project. So I kind of signed us up unknowingly for 48.
Which, for those of you that don't know, the 48-hour film project is exactly what it sounds. It's a group of people can sign up. You pay to join, and then you have 2 days to write and shoot and edit and put all together. And then, there's certain little themes you have to pepper in.
Exactly.
My name is James Rapien, and I host First Word every weekday morning, 7 to 11, right here on The Crown. Prior to joining The Crown Network, I covered the Bengals for Sports Illustrated for 6 seasons. I also am the founder of Cincinnati Bengals Talk on YouTube and wrote the book, Enter the Jungle, A History of the Cincinnati Bengals. Couldn't be more excited to join you every weekday morning for First Word right here on The Crown.
Could the Bengals make a trade to improve their roster? Welcome back to First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati. Tissot was a lot to say. Tissot.
That excited to be here with me?
No, the opposite. It's like, can we just say Jacob? That guy, Jake?
Just Jake.
My man, Jake. What up?
JT. Oh, JT.
No.
Never gonna give you the JT. Dream on, man.
Oh, no. No JT.
I kind of
You
want
don't like
to know.
JT?
Why?
Have you been called JT?
I was a long time ago.
And then you realized Justin Timberlake was the more famous one, and that was
No,
it?
it just wasn't. Yeah, I think I had 6 Jacobs in my 3rd grade class. So we all had to do either nickname or last name, or there was a Jake, and I went JT for that 1 year. And wasn't a huge fan.
She's a big Justin Timberlake fan, guaranteed.
I'm actually not.
No?
He's fine.
Just the age range, like, it's my age, like, I had the instinct.
We're going to have to cancel the tour.
I loved Instinct.
No,
I was
the
more the
world
Backstreet
tour.
Boys.
Huh?
Backstreet Boys was more for me.
Learning a lot about Marisa today. It's not great. Which one did you prefer, Jacob?
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys are insane.
Neither. I'm out.
I have the Instinct CD. I think it's No Strings Attached somewhere still. I probably have all of them still somewhere. But yeah, I mean, come on. Late 90s, early 2000s? Wheelhouse, baby.
I'm not very in tune with the late 90s and early 2000s.
Man, that beard is doing the Lord's work. I'll say that much right now, because no one thought that until you just said it. Will the Bengals make a trade? It's no secret that they need to upgrade at linebacker. And let's start there, because if they're going to make a trade, it would be to upgrade their roster in a big way, significant way. We had ESPN's Jeremy Fowler on last week, and I asked him if there was any chance that they would add at linebacker.
I mean, I could see them adding. This is a time of year that's tricky. There's not a lot of free agency movement. Because it's in May and June, you kind of want to see what your young guys can do, see what you have, and then if you realize, oh wow, these guys can't play, then you go sign somebody. Or if you say, oh, we might have something there. Like the Chiefs are a good example. They could use some receiver help, I would say. But you got a young guy like Jalen Royals who looks pretty good. It's like, okay, well maybe we can roll with this, or at least go into camp and see what we have. So I could see Cincinnati adding a linebacker. I mean, hey, Jermaine Pratt's still out there. He was a good player for them. I could see him going back to the Colts where he was with Lou Anarumo and those guys, or maybe Cincinnati wants to entertain that. I know it didn't end the best, so maybe that's not the best route. You got Matt Milano still out there. The problem with the linebackers is it's a lot of aging players. So I think the teams that want to make a big-time upgrade would look at a trade, and there aren't teams really eager to give up like a Jordan Brooks in Miami. Unless you're giving up major capital. So for the Bengals' taste, especially with giving up the first for Dexter Lawrence, I don't know that they would make another big swing for a trade right now. So we'll see, but it depends on your level of desperation. So we'll see how they feel coming out of minicamp. And it wouldn't shock me, certainly, but nothing's on my radar right now for that.
Yeah, I heard Jordan Brooks, like a 2 is what the Dolphins were thinking for him, which is it's a lot for a 29-year-old. Like, even if it's, I'm not sure what it is, but it does sound like the asking price is pretty high.
Yeah, I think so. That's my understanding. Or maybe it's like a player-for-player swap if Miami likes a young player on a roster somewhere who's kind of an ascending star. I could see that too. So either way, it's going to take a lot to get him because he's kind of one of their pillars now, even though he's older and plays a position that's not a premium position. He's a really good player. So, yeah, Jordan Brooks, Patrick Queen in Pittsburgh has been implicated in some trades, although that wouldn't be an option for Cincinnati, I wouldn't think, because it's in division.
Yeah.
There's some other guys out there, but it's not a deep pool at linebacker, especially when you get into older players. That's a position that ages quickly or can age quickly if you need somebody to cover in the passing game and cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
It can be tough, but there are some options that will develop.
That entire interview is on our YouTube channel. Just search First Word Cincy. Look, I think the point he made there at the end about the aging linebackers is one for Marisa. Like the sign of Bobby, and she's been in on the sign of Bobby train. Like the coverage, aging linebacker being able to cover all of those things. The fact that they haven't expressed interest in Bobby Wagner, I'm sorry. Like hand on shoulder, like I don't know.
I know, I'm genuinely I still don't.
I don't know if you're going to get a Bobby.
I still want a Bobby. Sign a
might
Bobby.
be
That's
close.
all I want.
Like the funeral might be soonish. Like for the idea that they're going to sign.
If the Bobby dream
one.
is not dead, it is dying.
You don't think we at least have until...
It's June 8th.
Until when?
Start of training camp.
I was going to say June.
In her defense,
Dalton,
they move slow there sometimes,
Yeah,
man. And
when was Dalton
I was screaming about guard all offseason last year. Like all offseason. For 8 months. Ask the Bengals.
It would probably be the equivalent move to address linebacker that late as guard last year in terms of ignoring a massive need.
They did get Lucas Patrick, and that's the difference.
Yes,
they didn't even sign like an Oren Burks this year. They haven't done anything. Like, don't tell me Swayze Bozeman. You can't be doing that.
You hating on the Sways?
No, I love it. I love his name. You're competing for a special teams role, my friend.
I mean, Bobby Wagner is going to sign with a team at some point. I cannot see a world where he is not on a team roster come August.
Sure.
It's also, I mean, it just, I don't know.
Still out there.
It's it's still a possibility.
I just think the coverage part of it is something the Bengals will prioritize and be like, all right, well, can he still cover? And I think he can run and tackle, probably not go sideline to sideline, and probably not cover, which brings us to the question here about a trade and who the Bengals could trade. Jeremy Fowler mentioned the player-for-player type deal. Jordan Brooks is going to be the one everybody talks about. I think the Dolphins would ask for the moon, even though he's a 29-year-old linebacker, and they probably shouldn't want the moon. How realistic is it that the Bengals have something that they're willing to trade? Is Chris Jenkins? Does he have value? Is there anyone else that stands out to you guys? Because to me, that's the one that stands out where it's like Chris Jenkins Jr., but I'm not sure he has any value, even though he's a former second-round pick. And certainly I'm not sure it's enough to get Jordan Brooks in return.
Well, my question at this point when I'm thinking through what the Bengals have to trade is you're not giving up someone that's going to actually make an impact this year, really. That's not the thought process. You're not that needy at linebacker. You still have a little bit of faith in Knight and Carter to take a step this year. So you're looking at the depth position pieces and saying, well, would it be willing to punt depth in a certain spot in order to add to the linebacker room? And in order to do that, you have to be incredibly confident that it's an upgrade at linebacker. And I don't think anyone would really question that Jordan Brooks would be. But probably the best player I'd consider trading in the grand scheme of things here would be Chris Jenkins. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is really close to his level of player or at least prospect, a former second-round pick. So maybe you can get the Dolphins to buy in on believing in that kind of potential still that he just hasn't quite tapped into yet. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, certainly has more value than a McKinley Jackson or I would imagine a TJ Slayton on Slayton's contract. So I would lean, towards Chris Jenkins there. And
you think so?
I think
you think
so.
Jenkins has more value than Slayton?
On the contract,
Who would you rather have?
Well, I'd rather have TJ Slayton on the field, but the contract's the same. I think I'd rather have Jenkins.
It's not the same, though.
No, the contract's what they are.
Yeah,
I would rather have Jenkins.
So you would trade Slayton before Jenkins if you're the Bengals?
Well, I'd have to get something back that was worthwhile, which I don't think you necessarily could for Slayton.
Okay.
I'm not just trading guys to trade guys.
Okay. I think Slayton's valuable, so I
like it. I think he's valuable for the Bengals.
Sure.
I really don't know what someone would really give up for him.
Sure.
Maybe.
I feel the same way about Chris.
Sign me up for either one of them for Jordan Brooks, but I don't think that's going to happen.
What do you mean you feel the same way about Chris?
I don't know how much value he has.
That's kind of where I lie too. But I also don't really want to move on from him because he's only had 2 years.
Yeah.
I feel like there's still so much left to develop, and especially playing alongside Dexter Lawrence, how that's going to help improve Chris Jenkins' game. I would fear the Bengals trading a Chris Jenkins and then him blowing up and really coming onto the scene in year 3 or 4.
And that's the risk. Like with a guy like this, it's a second-round pick, the draft pedigree. You're never going to get something that you feel great about. And if he does come on, it's the B.J. Hill.
Exactly.
It's B.J. Hill. And if the Giants traded B.J. Hill, because they have all these guys, and then he goes on and he ends up being really good for the Bengals, and they do it for a guy that had the pedigree in Billy Price, but wasn't good at football. And if you're the Bengals, you do not want to do that with Chris Jenkins because maybe he does develop. Like maybe that does happen. So if you can get him Jordan Brooks, and it's I don't know, Chris Jenkins in a 5th for Jordan Brooks. Well, I'm probably doing that because you're trying to win now.
Right.
A 2 to 5 was reported. Can you convince him that Chris Jenkins is the 2?
I didn't report that, but I asked the Dolphins. I asked someone that covers the Dolphins like what he thinks it would take to get done. This is one of the things you meant. Second rounder.
Thanks.
He said a 2 and a 4, and I was like, a 2 and a 4 what? Like what?
As long as the 2 is Chris Jenkins, I'm in.
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah.
And honestly,
world am I
Chris Jenkins in a 4.
Future 2.
Chris Jenkins in a 4 is still a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
It is.
For 1 year of a 29-year-old linebacker.
The only reason why I would be willing to take that swing is because I think if you drop Jordan Brooks into this defense, talk about this being a really good defense.
For sure.
So I think that's why you're taking that swing, because the Bengals are trying to win a Super Bowl this season. You're not really looking big picture at this point. If you can make a difference that can get you a ring this season, I would make that move. Now, I would be very cautious about giving up a ton of future draft capital for it. For a 1 year of an aging linebacker, absolutely. I mean, we just saw how quickly linebackers age here in Cincinnati with Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt going from two of the best linebackers to, drafting, Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter pretty soon after. So linebacker's a position where you age quickly, and I would love Jordan Brooks this year. I don't know how many more years he would be great. So in terms of the capital I'd be willing to give up, it's probably not very high.
It's time for a spur of the moment. Would you rather here on First Word? Starting with you, putting Marisa on the hot seat. Here we go. Would you rather the Bengals sign Bobby Wagner or trade or trade Chris Jenkins in a fifth for Jordan Brooks?
I would rather sign Bobby Wagner. I've been so high on this train because not only you're getting the veteran and leadership that the linebacker room needs, and I think that almost outweighs for me how he's obviously aging and regressing, being in his what is it going to be, year 15 now for him. He's not the same Bobby Wagner that he was 10 years ago. I understand that, but I just think his presence and what he would bring to that room for two young linebackers that are still trying to figure it out, for me, outweighs any type of decline he might have. And I just really don't want to move on from Chris Jenkins yet.
Yeah, I'm jumping at the Chris Jenkins and pick trade for Jordan Brooks. For me, that's like a double steak queso bowl at Chipotle and then a bowl of brown rice. Like, I'm all over Jordan Brooks on that comparison. I think Brooks is one of the more exciting linebackers that could potentially be on the move, and I would love him in Cincinnati. The Dolphins, kind of inexplicably drafted 3 linebackers this year. It wasn't really expectation for anyone that they would take that many swings at the linebacker position. But they did, which I think makes a lot of people jump to that Jordan Brooks trade candidate, and I would love him in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he was really, really good last year.
Really good.
Honestly, the Dolphins are idiots for not wanting to trade him now. I would have dealt him before the deadline.
Before the draft.
Or before the draft, not the deadline. And I would have made sure I maximized that value.
Right?
Now you got Jacob Rodriguez, Kyle Lewis, and kind of looking around saying, now what?
Jordan Brooks, 1 year. Yeah, I totally get it. And who knows? Maybe that happens later. Maybe it happens during training camp. You never know. 183 tackles last year, certainly in his prime. We will see. What would I rather do? I would rather get the better of the two players, and it is Jordan Brooks now. That being said, am I against Bobby? No. I want as many Bengals players older than me on the roster as possible. And guess what? Bobby Wagner would be one of those. So sign me up for as many as possible. Plus, Joe Flacco's proof. Age is just a number. We will continue the conversation with a special live edition it's the norm now, of Contipelli's Countdown, next, right here on First Word.
Sometimes people misconstrue what an explanation and an excuse. Mm-hmm. Because a big explanation to why the Reds are underperforming this year are the injuries.
Sure,
There's no doubt about it. And people say, oh, that's just a crutch, that's an excuse. No, that's part of the explanation why this team is not playing well. And I think as fans and people who watch the game and people who talk about the game like we do, I think sometimes we take this pie, we try to slice it up and say, who does the big piece of pie of blame go to? And everybody wants to do Nick Kroll and the Reds front office at all. At what point does a big slice, and I mean a really big slice, have to go to players who have just underperformed? Because I think if we laid out, guys, the Reds' top 10 players, and everybody would have it a little bit different, but I think 8 or 9 of the Reds' top 10 players, we would all agree are pretty much the same on everybody's lists. I think at least half, if not more than half, have underperformed this year.
Or are hurt.
Or hurt.
Yes.
Or both.
Yeah. Well, the Bengals had a linebacker. Have you heard anything linebacker-wise, free agent-wise, of them being interested, or are they just really comfortable with Demetrius Knight, Barrett Carter, and what they have in that room?
I mean, I could see them adding. This is a time of year that's tricky. There's not a lot of free agency movement, because it's in May and June. You kind of want to see what your young guys can do, see what you have, and then if you realize, oh wow, these guys can't play, then you go sign somebody. Or if you say, oh, we might have something there. Like the Chiefs are a good example. They could use some receiver help, I would say. But, you got a young guy like Jalen Royals who looks pretty good. It's like, okay, well, maybe we can roll with this or at least go into camp and see what we have. So I could see Cincinnati adding a linebacker. I mean, hey, Jermaine Pratt's still out there. He was a good player for them. I could see him going back to the Colts where he was with Lou Anarumo and those guys, or maybe Cincinnati wants to entertain that. I know it didn't end the best, so maybe that's not the best route. You got Matt Milano still out there. Yeah. The problem with the linebackers is it's a lot of aging players. Yeah. So I think the teams that want to make a big-time upgrade would look at a trade, and there aren't teams really eager to give up like a Jordan Brooks in Miami unless you're giving up major capital. So for the Bengals' taste, especially with giving up the first for Dexter Lawrence, I don't know that they would make another big swing for a trade right now. So we'll see, but it depends on your level of desperation. So we'll see how they feel coming out of minicamp. And it wouldn't shock me, certainly, but nothing's on my radar right now for that.
Open the mics and keep it moving. A Monday edition of First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Jacob Trisket, a.k.a. Jacob Tissot, here on your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11. I'm in the process of pubbing this on X right now, where we are live every day on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, on RESN. And this is the first of many live editions of Contipelli's Countdown with Marisa Contipelli.
That's right. I've been eagerly awaiting this since I am now back and returned here on First Word. And May of last season, former Reds outfielder Tyler Callahan just suffered a horrific injury down in Atlanta when he ran into the wall there over in left field. And this was a tough one to see. However, he has made a recovery, and it was good to see across social media that Tyler is going to be reclaiming that spot in left field down in Atlanta, just with a new team now.
Yeah, still insane to me that they didn't stop the play here.
Yeah.
Let 2 runs score when he's on the ground holding his broken forearm, screaming in agony and pain. I don't know. Still not quite over that one, but great to see Callahan working through.
Clearly you don't let things go.
No, never. But it's great to see Callahan working through that.
Yeah, let's take a look, too. Here is Tyler now going back to that same spot in Atlanta.
Still doing that, Andre? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Check me out.
3 surgeries deep. I think started like a 14-year-old kid right here. He leaned over afterwards, and I was just sitting right here looking up at him.
Yeah, like you said, 3 surgeries, just what a comeback that he's made right there. And just great to see him recover from that kind of injury and, be in such high spirits as he kind of seems like in this video.
Wish him well, hope he balls out. Anytime you see an injury like this, you think of Ware from Louisville like 12 years ago, right? And that was obviously even more serious than this one, but anytime you see a serious injury, you don't want that to be the story of an athlete's career. Certainly hope that's not here, and I hope he can rebound.
For sure. I mean, that's a young guy in his rookie season having an injury like that is a nightmare. So great to see him back.
Yeah. Well, another great thing that I saw across social media over the weekend was by the Washington Nationals. They had a fun social media video where they just passed around a baby to some of the players.
What?
Baby? Where did we get this baby? Help me.
Whose baby is this?
Morning. You, baby.
Thank
Whose
you.
kid is this? Precious merchandise.
I was laughing so hard the first time I watched this because all the guys were like, "Whose baby is this? What do we like?" This was hilarious. I loved every second of this.
All right, I gotta ask. You know how to hold a baby, Marisa, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Okay.
was
Do you know how to hold a
nephews.
baby, or are you like these dudes?
Figure it out.
You can figure it out. The thing
How about
that
we test it out with James's kids?
we are not going to do that. We are not going to do that, clearly.
7 points.
Honestly, judging all of them, how do they not know how to hold a baby? Like, you're kind of just...
They're young.
James Wood is like 21 years old.
I was like 8 and I knew how to hold a baby, and I don't have siblings, so I don't understand. I don't understand what's wrong. This. What is this? This isn't. What is this?
When Marisa said the words, the Washington Nationals passed a baby around the locker room, I was 100% sure it was a baby doll.
Yeah.
And there was not even a
live
fraction
baby.
of my mind that expected a real baby.
Baby doll.
Yes.
Yes.
Kudos to the Nats,
Nationals
I
are
guess.
phenomenal.
The Nationals
the dog,
have the
they got-
dog,
yeah.
and now they have a team baby.
Yeah. You know what? They are onto something with their social game.
Yeah.
I do really want to know whose baby that is.
So, after watching more of the video, I think the baby belonged to the guy behind the phone, someone on their social or content team.
Gotcha.
Because at one point someone asked and they were like, "Oh, this is mine."
What is
Like,
it? He looks like he's trying to curl the baby. Put the baby on. Yeah, come on. Hold the baby under. There we go. It's a little
Yeah.
better. It's still
He's
a little
comfortable
awkward,
with
my
it.
man. What is going on?
I think it's
Baby
great.
holding lessons.
I love that one, a ball off. That was fantastic.
Oh.
That was great. Well,
There we
another
go.
thing that I saw that was fantastic over the weekend was the Cincinnati Bengals giving back to the community as part of their Hometown Huddle series. A lot of the guys helping build a playground for a local rec center here in Cincinnati, partnered up with the United Way. This was out in Westwood as part of the Ryan Sports Complex, and always love to see the guys, be out in the community and really kind of getting their hands dirty. And obviously, we see Katie Blackburn here as well.
Yeah, love it. Love seeing this. This is great. Make an impact, and it's really cool anytime we see this. And look at that. That's Taj Brooks right there, getting it.
Your guy.
I'm not against. Don't do that.
Zach Taylor, too.
Zach
They have a
Taylor
whole
in
crew
there
out
pitching
there.
in. Look, I love seeing this. I love the impact. Samaje Perine as well. My guy. Love him.
Yeah, no, always cool to see the players out there, but just as cool to see Zach and Katie out there getting involved as well. Love to see the team giving back to the community. It's always a great thing, and the Bengals do a really, really good job of that.
Yeah, I bet. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to combine the last two. I bet Bengals players can hold babies better than the Nationals.
I think they should test that in the locker room. That should be one of the
There's
next.
an idea, content team. There you go.
Yeah, they should be all over it. Well, one of the guys that has been so huge in the Cincinnati community and his giving back is Orlando Brown Jr. And he was named by the NFLPA as the off-season MVP, community MVP of the week. Just all the work he has done helping over 1.6 million people in the U.S. living with type 1 diabetes. Has helped raise over $100,000 through his Breakthrough One TD1 Showcase Gala. He has just done phenomenal work, and I know we had Orlando on the show last week, and it's great to see him do things, off the field like this, really helping, just given his background and everything he stands for.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anyone that does it better. From a making sure he's dedicated to the cause and helping the cause and being all in on it. Orlando Brown Jr. has been all about type 1 diabetes and fighting it and finding solutions from not just the moment he got here, but the moment he could, the moment he became a professional athlete. I mean, he had so much of a reputation already for trying to make a difference for this cause. Obviously, it's a cause that he holds near and dear to his heart because of his father, so it's cool to see him continue the fight and continue to make a major impact.
It's always cool to see the different endeavors that these guys, pour themselves into off the field, and Orlando's certainly taken this to the next level, since he's gotten here and really expanded everything he's been able to do. So, kudos to him, and this is just exactly the kind of guy you want as the face and leader of your franchise. Bengals gotten incredibly lucky to have Orlando Brown on Joe Burrow's blind side.
They really have. Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Bengals for a reason, and excited to see what's in store for him and his foundation this upcoming season. But taking first place on the countdown for today, so the Dayton Air Show is coming up this weekend, and the Bengals had a surprise for safety Jordan Battle.
Ready? Yeah. You've been selected for a Blue Angels flight.
Oh, beat that. Let's go! Let's go! Steve, come here. I've been selected for the Blue Angels, cuz. They ain't air show. I get to ride in that plane, cuz. I get to ride in that plane. That's lit. I get to ride in the plane. Come here. Can you invite me to? They ain't air show. I get to ride in the plane.
It's just a phenomenal reaction, and it's coming up here. We gotta listen to what T's about to say.
That's me the next time Marisa goes on vacation. You don't got the show? I don't got the show.
I think this is awesome. I hope there's a follow-up piece of content here that we can play on the show next week of Jordan actually being in the plane. This is such a cool moment for him.
It is. It's awesome to see. I love T's response, by the way. That was very much, I'm the man. You're trying to be the man. If I don't have to show up to practice, or if you don't have to show up to practice, I don't have to show up to practice. But no, this is, what an experience. I'm jealous. That's what, I'm jealous. I would love this. And so what a highlight. Hopefully it propels Jordan into a Pro Bowl season, but yeah, huge.
Few things cooler than the Blue Angels. I've been able to see them a few times, and every time it's the coolest thing in the world. So awesome opportunity for Battle to get out there, and just another list of cool things happening around Cincinnati.
I've never seen them.
Really?
Never.
You've never
you're missing
seen the Blue
out.
Angels.
I don't think so.
Wow, that's one of our favorite things to do growing up in Cleveland was just the air show on the lake there.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I went to Navy's graduation 2 years ago, and they did like the whole fly show, and it was unbelievable.
I was around for part of it when I lived in Cleveland for that time.
Okay.
So, but I wasn't like out for the whole show. Downtown was crazy, and I lived downtown, so I got to catch some of it, but not,
Well, if you're not busy this weekend, head up to Dayton.
Yeah.
You can see Jordan Battle and
There we
Blue
go.
Angels.
Jordan, if you don't have to practice, I don't have to practice. So just let me hitch a ride. Let's go.
All right, well, we still have plenty more to get to here on First Word this morning. Coming up next, time for us to revisit our poll question. Will the Reds finish the season over 500? We have a lot of responses to get to. That's coming up next here on First Word.
Cincinnati sports fans are the best. Loyal, passionate, second to none. This city lives and breathes sports, and now it finally has a morning show to match. I'm James Rapien, and this is First Word, the only morning sports show in Cincinnati and the place where every day starts. We break down the biggest moments and set the agenda for the city. Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot join me to bring the insight and energy you need to start your day. The conversation starts with First Word. First Word, weekdays 7 to 11, part of the Crown Network.
And there were two big trades on Monday, but the news of Monday, the big news, the reason why Joe Burrow is a happy man today is that guy named Myles Garrett. He's no longer in the AFC North. Myles Garrett traded to the Los Angeles Rams in a deal as we were show prepping. We were reacting to the Ellie news and talking about that. And then Myles Garrett gets dealt to the Rams for a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick, all in consecutive years, 27, 28, and 29, along with Jared Verse. My instant reaction was, heck yeah, at least Myles Garrett isn't in the AFC North and Joe Burrow doesn't have to deal with it.
Remember a few months ago when the conversation was Joe Burrow has to play Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt 2 times a year each?
Wow.
Where'd that go?
Where did that go?
It was quick.
Very
short-lived for
yes.
sure, and certainly great news for the Bengals. I do think this is a great trade by the Browns in terms of the return, and obviously it's a win for the Bengals, but to get a player like Jared Verse, who's a great young player at the edge rusher position, is a solid return, and then the 2027 first, and what will be a really, or what should be, it's not fair to speak too far in advance, but what should be a really good first-round draft class next year, and the Browns building a pretty exciting young core, but still missing the biggest piece, and the piece we all know you need to compete in the NFL, the quarterback. And so many questions at that position in Cleveland, not for a lack of money spent, but Myles Garrett on to the Rams, and the most talented roster in the NFL just gets a little bit more talented.
Hey, I'm Marisa Contipelli, one of the co-hosts on First Word and a features producer here on The Crown, where I will be out and about in Cincinnati bringing you the stories that you need to hear in the Queen City. Now, I know I'm from Cleveland, but I love my Cincy sports. I've been in Cincinnati for almost a decade now, spending the last 8 seasons with the Bengals as a team reporter and senior producer. I am so excited to be a part of the team here at The Crown, and I can't wait to bring you the latest from around the city.
I'm Paul Fritchner. I'm a 2019 graduate of Xavier University, and I've been covering college basketball for 10 years here in the Cincinnati area. I'm the host of the Rebound Rundown, a daily college basketball podcast during the season and a weekly show in the off-season covering everything you need to know about your favorite team. And if you're not a fan of a team here in Cincinnati, I have you covered from the national perspective as well. Follow it on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Will the Reds ever win again? Welcome back to First Word. I'm James Rapien. Daryl Morey is a liar, and this is your morning sports show, Cincinnati.
I'll repeat.
Every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here
That's your
on
guy,
The Crown.
James.
My guy?
Harden?
Hard. Yeah, she was selling stock on me like crazy there. My guy. He's talking about James Harden, not James Rapien, to be clear. I'm James Rapien. That's Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. And
James Harden is not
my goodness. The Reds, well, they may be in trouble. We put out our What's the Word poll question of the day after yesterday's loss to the Cardinals, swept in St. Louis. And it's very simple. After starting 20-11, they're 11-22 and have a 31-33 overall record. Will the Reds finish above 500 this season? 82% on the nose. No, they won't. 14.4% yes, but miss the playoffs. 3.2% yes and make playoffs. 0.4% yes and win division. Marisa, your thoughts on 82% of the people saying no, they won't.
So high.
It's so high.
It's so high.
Pain.
I wasn't shocked that won. I'm shocked that 82% of our viewers think that. I don't know. I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm not solely out on this team yet, because if they can get fully healthy, they are talented. They do have, the tools that they can at least get over 500. I'm still not counting out that they don't get a wild card berth, when it's all said and done. 82, I don't know. That's just insane. That's so high. It should not have been that high. I don't agree with the couple people who voted for yes win the division. I don't think that's a possibility here, just given that they're 2-13 in the division right now.
Why are we all freaking out? It's a long season. They'll figure it out. They'll get healthy.
Don't do this.
No, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Your voice got so high there, you couldn't believe it.
No.
Why are we
I couldn't even get through it.
Yeah, no, you could.
Yeah, no, they won't. I'm part of the 82%. This is about as bad as it could get. I think right now.
It's about as bad as it could get.
Come on now.
All right, go.
The thing with this Reds team is the bullpen doesn't have options to fix it. And I guess maybe you could say the rotation gets healthy and you shove guys back into the bullpen like they did with Paddock this weekend. Maybe Williamson can come off the IL in a month or so and go fill the long relief role in the bullpen. Maybe you can talk yourself into Chase Petty or Julian Aguilar coming up here and being a good arm in the bullpen. But all of that is projection based. We haven't seen it from anyone that's healthy in the bullpen right now. And for a Reds team that doesn't have an overpowering lineup and doesn't have a consistent starting rotation, I'm not going to be able to believe in them turning this around to anything meaningful. Now, I think the only reason that their record is what it is, 31-33, only 2 games below 500, and not so much worse, is because a completely different team played the first month and a half of the season. We haven't seen that Reds team since the end of April.
No, and that's why I'm not panicking, is because they've shown that they can do it. Yeah. It's just been this weird kind of roller coaster right now, but it's also when the majority of the injuries have kind of hit, and especially with Ellie being out. We had Suarez out for an extended period, but it's been a while since Pagan, has been out there. We're now without Ashcraft and Pierce Johnson in the bullpen, and I know the bullpen has had struggles since the start of the season, but when you're missing those 3 guys in the back end, especially for me, Ashcraft, I know when he was in the closer role a couple of times, it didn't work out, but he was really a solid piece on the back end there.
Suarez 1 for 8 over the weekend.
He's the lowest WAR of a position player on the Reds.
Maybe there's a reason he was out there in free agency for as long as he was.
He took such a head-scratching 1-year contract.
Some are saying that Kyle Schwarber would look good in red.
Like Kyle Schwarber. He wanted to be here.
And not Phillies red, to be clear, because I could totally hear that. Let's dive into some of your responses here on What's the Word? And, well, let's be honest here. At this point, I'd be happy if they could get to at least 500 in division games. Well, dream on.
That'd be nice.
2-13. I'd be on tired of watching them lose to teams I hate the most. Totally get you, Cincy B. Appreciate you consistently chiming in on the poll. Kevin Boatwright, if your answer isn't no, they won't, I'd love to have your faith and to hear why. And so Kevin very much in the 82% that said no, they won't, and would love to hear why. You guys have explained a little bit, but I get where he's coming from.
The why would just be health. It's always health. That's all it comes back to.
They won't see 500 again.
That's extreme.
That's extreme.
I don't agree with that.
They will get to 500 again at some point this year.
Will they?
Yes.
I think.
I'm going to say it happens by this time next week.
All I know is in like 10 minutes, Jacob Tissett's going to break down exactly who they're playing in June.
Yeah.
And he's going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about how the Reds really struggle and are struggling to find something they're good at right now. And so I get why people are like, yeah, they're just not a 500 team. They're below 500 team because they have been for the majority of this season. I mean, since May,
you're right.
11-22.
And since the beginning of May, 3rd worst run differential in the league. It's not like they're just losing games.
They're getting worked.
They're getting worked, and they look like one of the worst teams in baseball. It's not fluke losses. It's not, anything else to spin it. They're just bad, and they have been for about a month now, and that's a very, very tough pill to swallow when, you're only, about 70 games into the season.
We're going to hear from Terry Francona coming up in a bit. We're also going to dive into this upcoming series. Not only our top takeaway from the weekend, but we will look ahead to tonight. They're in San Diego. At least they got some nice weather.
Nice weather.
I assume
and
it's going to be nice weather
in the first couple games.
Yeah, that's true. It could be a big factor in turning this around and getting over 500. Could we do a wow you swept involving the Reds getting a sweep? That feels like pie in the sky. But we'll continue the Reds conversation next, right here on First Story.
Every morning, Cincinnati wakes up and gets to work. Companies are built, deals are made, restaurants open, ideas become careers, and every day the people behind it all sit down at the working lunch. Founders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, community leaders, the people building Cincinnati. The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, weekdays, noon to 1, only on The Crown.
Get there, but there's just everybody has a question mark right now.
No question about it. You're absolutely right. But I think where I'm at right now is we see players in the NFL every single year surprise and disappoint in terms of the production over their careers. And for the Bengals right now, every defense in the NFL is just on paper. Whether it's a coaching change or roster changes or whatever it is, some more than others, I understand that. The Bengals probably leading that group in terms of the overall changes they made to their defense this year. But in terms of on paper, this defensive line is really, really good to me. And I think when you're comparing it to everyone else in the league, the depth is what sets them apart. Maybe you don't have that killer, but having Dexter Lawrence in the middle and Jonathan Allen, not as the marquee guy on the defensive line, but as a second fiddle kind of to Dexter Lawrence, I think just really frees him up to hopefully tap back into some fountain of youth stuff there. And then you said 2 out of the 3 in the edge room need to hit in order to have success, and you're absolutely right. But I just think the Bengals having more bites at the apple here this year to get those 2 that hit, give them a better chance of that coming to fruition.
When people think of St. Vincent de Paul, Cincinnati, they're thinking of the thrift stores. Our market research showed that pretty heavily. And they actually had a huge gap in mission clarity, understanding what we really do. Most people had no idea that we do homelessness prevention support, that we are a leader in providing emergency assistance when someone's about to be evicted or foreclosed on. Most people had no idea. Last year we gave out $17 million worth of medication. We gave out $7 million worth of food and nearly $4 million in housing and utilities assistance. When people are shopping at the thrift store, they often go, I don't know, they're probably providing jobs to people. I don't know. There's definitely, or they probably do a food drive somewhere around here. Like there's these assumptions about St. Vincent de Paul, and then there's the actual impact that they have no idea they're making possible. So the last couple of years, we've brought everybody on a journey of when you donate to the thrift store, what does that become? You might be donating a box of clothes, but we are turning that into a box of food for a family. Or you might be donating, a lamp, and we're able to make that into a medication with the sale of that. And so it's exciting to educate the community. The thrift stores are strong. We added the Hamilton one up in Butler County. That was our first Butler County one. That was so exciting. That was last year. It's going very well. Milford, we bought the old Big Lots out there. And so now we have 2 buildings, and then we have the pharmacy. So there's 3 buildings out there for now. We'll see how as we keep growing. It's just, there's so much exciting growth. There's so much trust from the community. And it feels like a huge duty of ours to protect and steward that trust and keep increasing our impact, honestly, and partnering well.
Welcome to First Word, Cincinnati's only morning sports show, breaking down the biggest moments and the stories shaping Cincinnati sports with analysis that cuts through. First Word, setting the agenda in Cincinnati sports.
The roller coaster that we're on here on First Word. Good morning. Welcome in. That's Jacob Tissot and his confidence level in the Cincinnati Reds. And if you're listening on Mixler or later, wherever you get your podcast, his arms are going up and down and all around. You can find us live every single weekday, 7 to 11 on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network, live on YouTube, listening live on Mixler, of course. We're also live on X at First Word Cincy. On Facebook, First Word with James Rapien, and there's a look at the entire Crown lineup, whether it's the Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, Nat Tries That, the Nat Jones Show, or Rebound Rundown in the Working Lunch every single weekday, noon to 1. Talk business with Jack Crumley right here on the Crown. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Roller Coaster Tissot. Whee! Yeah, that's me. With his takes.
Aaron, clip that.
Yeah, wee is right. He's wee up and down all around. And well, the Reds.
I was going for the pinwheel pig in the Geico commercial.
You sounded like it.
Wee! Bam! There you go.
Oh.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot better than what the Reds have done. They've lost 5 or 6.
It's a low bar.
4 straight. Yeah, well, that's fair. It is a low bar. 4 straight. They get swept in St. Louis. And ugly. They blew leads in all 3 games. Yesterday, it felt like Matt McClain was going to hit them to victory, and then he decided to forget how to field. Sam Moll forgot how to throw the ball to third base. And the 8th inning went awry, and just a rough weekend. We're going to hear from Terry Francona in a second, but a rough weekend starting on Friday. Or Brady Singer, we talked about it. Mm-hmm. Brady Singer, can he find a way, Jacob? And you see the one earned run, 4 runs, 4 innings. It's just not enough. Sal Stewart got going a little bit, but you give up 10 runs on the road, that's what's going to happen.
Can't give away free runs.
No doubt.
No. Can't give away free outs, and the Reds did a ton of that this weekend. When we talk about the starting pitching struggling as it will, and the bullpen struggling as it will, you have to find a way to win when the opportunities present themselves, and that wasn't the case in Game 2 either. Let that one fall right through your fingers.
Yeah, that one was tough too. And after McLean hit that home run, you take the lead, you feel really good about this one, and then once again, the bullpen not able to hold on to the lead there.
Yeah, it's just pain. The last 2 are pain because they're right there. They have a chance. They're feeling good about it. You're certainly feeling good. And even Friday night, they jump out to the lead.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like, run support for Brady Singer. Here we go. No. And so that's what this team has been, is a team that has blown leads. They've blown 12 leads in losses since May 1. So you think about that. They've done that 14 times this year, 12 since May 1. They've lost 22 games. 12 of those 22 losses over that span, they had the lead in those games. And I get it. It's a long game. It's 9 innings and all those things. But, man, 9.5 back, 31-33 on the season, 2 games under 500 for the first time this season.
Only 2.5 out of the wild card.
Hope. We'll dive into this weekend series, or this week series, excuse me. The weekend just ended. Come on. This week series against San Diego, 9:40 pitch. It's going to be tough on the first word. We're going to have you covered. We're going to have you covered because that's what we do. Lockdown, covered. But it's going to be a challenge. It'll be a nice West Coast trip to a nice test here for the first word team for sure. Terry Francona is tested in being tested a lot right now. Here's what Tito had to say after Sunday's loss, another blown opportunity as they got swept in St. Louis.
And the 8th was a right idea, poor execution.
We were ultra aggressive. We needed to be, and he knew it, and he just didn't throw it where he needed to.
I know you're not big on meetings or just the way the weekend went. What message would you have for this team right now?
We talked to the guys after the game just for a minute, and it's actually the same. It's, when it's the hardest to believe, you have to, and when there's doubt, you got to believe in each other and pick each other up. And I told him, man, run the bases with your pants on fire, and don't leave anything on the field. I just believe that's the not just the best way, it's the only way we're going to get where we want to go. And what I don't want them to do is walking around, like, I don't want this to be a morgue. That's not the way it's supposed to be. I want them just to, because it's hard for us right now. There's a lot of things that aren't going right, but we can make it better, and we will.
For Rhett Lauder, I'm sure there are moments that he looked sharp. That the walks ultimately hurt him on how far he could go in the game.
It wasn't just that. It was like, I think early on he was like 2-0 on almost everybody. To his credit, man, he fought back and kind of kept him off from scoring. But like in the first inning, he was rushing through everything, and Trey slowed him down and looked better. And we were hoping to get a little more as far as pitch count was, but it's his first time back, and when you throw that many pitches that early, to me, that's harder than having lower pitch innings.
Did you see any rust from Panic at all? I mean, no, he's not used to coming out of the pen, but he hadn't pitched in a minute.
No, he hadn't. You're right, and that's why. And I told him before the game, I said, I won't bring you in a dirty inning, because we could have sent Ferguson out to face a lefty. I didn't think that was fair to him. You know what? It's hard to gauge because you're right. He hadn't pitched in a while. I think you hope that the velocity will tick up when a guy comes out of the pen. I think he was just trying to find his rhythm.
How important is it for the bullpen to not let any frustration sit in or make things bigger than they are?
I think it's important for everybody. That's part of it. We're all in this together. We all bleed together. And, I thought Santion actually pitched his ass off, today. You get put in situations where you're playing your infielders at unique spots because you have to, and sometimes things happen.
We talked pregame about the way that you all are going to have to give Lauder at least a little bit of protection on coming back, to know you were going to need as many innings out as you needed out of your bullpen today. How hard is that to sort of plan through what that might look like pregame?
Well, I don't usually plan through it pregame. I mean, I know who's available and when and things like that, but you don't know how the game's going to go. If the game would have gone according to plan, we'd have used all 3 of our lefties and finished the game. That wasn't going to work, obviously.
Terry Francona preaching believe, that courtesy of Reds TV. Look, we're going to hear from Sam Moll in a second. They keep finding ways to lose. Yeah. I do agree with the sentiment. When it's tough, you still got to believe. It's very Ted Lasso, but it's cliche, and it's exactly what you have to do right now if you're the Reds.
I just wish there was a little bit more to believe in. I think if the timelines for these injuries were closer to returning, or there were some exciting pieces of this team, there would be more to believe in. I just don't know that there's too much to grasp onto with the guys that are available right now.
I'm going to disagree with that. I think there's plenty to grasp onto. I mean, we finally got to see Arroyo come up. We have, Matt McClain kind of, having sparks at time. This team showed what it can do in April, and for some reason they have fallen off of that. And maybe I'm having too much hopium this morning. Being back at the desk has me excited, so maybe I'm being too optimistic and positive. I don't think it's that far off from expecting this team to get back to where it was in April when everything was working and clicking. And I know injuries, like you said, have been a huge part of it. And we're not super close to getting everyone back. But all they need is a couple of things to start falling the right way. And I think this week is a great week for that, the way kind of things line up against the Padres.
Which way do you think they're closer to? The team we've seen for the last month or the team we saw in the first month? Not that they're either. They're certainly not 11-23 bad, and they're not 20-11 good. But which one do you think they're closer to?
I mean, obviously, just given off what they've done recently, they're closer to the team that's been falling and snowballing. But I'm saying they have the tools to be able to be that team that we saw in April. Fair. They did it. They showed us.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of that is more outlier than a lot of us want to admit at this point.
We'll see.
I wish. I hope. But I just.
So that
I
means you're telling me Sal Stewart is an outlier.
I think Sal Stewart's much closer to, what is he hitting right now? He's hitting 253 with a 345 OBP. He's much closer to that than a 300 hitter. At least his rookie season.
Man, he's selling his Sal stock,
You were so high on Sal.
Even if he ends up at 275, that's closer to this.
The Tissot train is a roller coaster. Watching Sam Moll has certainly been a roller coaster, and it was yesterday. Here's 1 minute from Sam Moll, and then we're going to get to our top takeaways of the weekend, which includes a new nickname courtesy of me for your Cincinnati Reds.
Just try to jump off the mound, and obviously with the force out over there, it was going to be easier than having to try to tag him, but just didn't make a good throw.
We talked to Tito yesterday. He was pretty clear that you pitched really well. It was one pitch to Newpart today. It's the same thing. It's down to the one throw up the third baseline. What do you take away from those moments in those games?
Yeah, I would say today was the exact opposite for me. When it came to executing pitches, I didn't execute many at all. Really didn't have a good feel for anything. So kind of the opposite of yesterday, where it was just one pitch, and then today was a bunch of pitches kind of just not executed.
Tito's talked about the team just a little bit after the game today and sticking together. And what's the mood in here? What's going on in here right now?
I mean, we got enough talent to win ball games. At least from my perspective, it just hurts a little bit more that I was on the end of it, where it cost the team a couple, hopefully some wins when we kind of need them. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
If there's one thing I know, it's that Jacob Tissot, big believer in Sam Moll. You're a big believer in Sam Moll.
For sure. When he was brought here as the main trade deadline acquisition in 2023, didn't get his first save till last month. So certainly not the Reds' tenure a lot of us have hoped, but he's been pretty good this season.
Yeah. All right. Without further ado, I know you like the tease before Sam Moll about the nickname for the Reds, and it's very, very simple. They have no strengths. What are the Reds good at? Like really, really good at, that you can put on your cap and rest on and say, hey, that's it. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to rely on. They're the no-hat rack Reds. They have nowhere to put their hat. Put their hat on this. We're going to bank on this. Well, that's not the case. Jacob Tissot, I can bank on him. He's going to be here at 6:02 every single day, even though we're supposed to be here at 5:30, but I know he's going to roll in at 6:02, and it'll be fine. True. But guess what? He'll be here. 6:05.
You were here before 6 today.
Come on. What? Come on.
He'll roll in at 6:45. No, but in all honesty, right, when you hit adversity, in whatever profession, you got to be able to rely on something, right? You got to be able to lean on something, and that's it. You got to put your hat, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bank on this. And the Reds have nothing to, no Ellie De La Cruz, No Hunter Green. Chase Burns is good, but he can only do so much every 5th day. Andrew Abbott's pitching better, and that's it. You can't bank on Sal Stewart. You can't bank on Matt McClain. You can't bank. Spencer Steer is the next best thing.
Yeah.
There's just not much right now for them to lean on, to say, hey, this is what we're going to lean on during this tough time. Maybe it should be Tito, right? I know how you feel about that, but like it's tough. It's tough right now because it's like, all right, well, you got to put your hat on that. There's nothing to put their hat on. Can't do it. Not the lineup, not the bullpen, and certainly not the rotation.
Yeah, and I think that's where my pessimism kind of lies, is I don't know when you can start to rely on any of those groups, because even with the bullpen, when you talk about getting healthy, Emilio Pagan, before he got hurt, we were talking about potentially trying to pull him out of the closer role to try someone else, and the two names that were floated pretty constantly at that time, Graham Ashcraft, who's now on the IL with early Tommy John scare type stuff with the UCL, and then Tony Santillan, who's virtually unpitchable in big moments right now, though the Reds still have to keep pitching him in big moments because they don't have any other options. I think the thing with the lineup that I keep coming back to is if the bullpen's going to be this poor, really top to bottom, and the starting rotation is not going to be able to be consistent on a night in, night out basis, then you're going to need the lineup to be the catalyst for this team to win games. And that's a bunch of people that you're going to be asking to do more than they've ever done before in their careers, especially over this next couple months or so, where you're not going to have Elly De La Cruz in the lineup. You hope Sal Stewart can get through this slump that he's on right now, but this is now 2 slumps with a not very long break in between. So I'm getting pretty concerned about him as well. But I don't know how much I can believe in this Reds lineup right now, because we've seen these guys for long enough that I think we're starting to just get told what they are.
I think I still have faith in the lineup because of what we had seen out of Sal Stewart, what we've seen out of JJ Bleday, even though he's in a little bit of a 4 for 26 slump right now. I mean, he did just win NL Player of the Month a month ago.
Got complacent.
Is he JJ some days? Not yet.
Oh, no,
don't do that.
We're not. No,
if
we're
JJ
not
Bleday is an all-day Bleday, what is this Reds lineup?
No, I agree.
Oh no.
Can you imagine what a savior he's been too?
He's been great.
The Reds have backed into their best players this year.
Yeah, but I mean, you have him. We know what Suarez is capable of. I think this lineup has the potential and outlook where if they can just figure it out and if everyone can get clicking at the same time, I think they'll be okay because of the starting pitching. I still think that is a strength for this team, even though they've gone through their ups and downs over the course of the season. For me, I still have concerns about the bullpen and everything you just mentioned too, with those injuries and missing Pierce Johnson, Ashcraft, and Pagan right now, and it's really tough to see when this Reds team does get a lead that you go into the 7th, 8th inning and you just have major concerns of this bullpen is able to hold on to it, and they haven't been able to, and the walks are just astronomically high already with 158 on the season given up by the bullpen. It's just someone has to at some point turn a page in this bullpen. Someone has to step up, and really curious, waiting to see who that's going to be.
As we roll into this Padres series and the rest of the month of June, at least for the next few weeks, the one thing I would ask is that Edwin Arroyo and Noelvin Marte are playing every day. I think if you're going to look at this lineup and try to grasp for straws without Elly De La Cruz in it, those are two guys that have very high ceilings. Get them in the lineup, see if they can produce, and if they can, it gives you the best shot to turn this around. So I would be playing Noelvin Marte and Edwin Arroyo pretty close to every single day.
Yeah, you have to, and you have to find something, and that's really, you're right. What else? One, nothing's been reliable. Two, what realistically is going to turn it around? I know what a lot of these guys are, and that's the unfortunate part. And the one thing that we were supposed to be able to say, hey, no matter what, this is going to get you through, is the rotation. That hasn't been the case. Will it be the case in San Diego? We'll dive into this Padres series coming up next, right here on First Word.
Why were you there? To have a drink.
How old were you?
I was in my 20s.
Yeah. You've told me this story before, and it started. You said that you were working, and then you went to the pavilion because that was the cool spot at the time. Which, by the way, it was cool when I was a kid too. R.I.P. to the pavilion in Cincinnati, Ohio. And that you were waiting for my dad, on the back patio.
Yeah, I was. I'm watching these 3 red balls in the sky. I was sitting with people, and I wouldn't tell anyone.
Really?
No, I would not, because I thought, they'll think I'm nuts.
Yeah.
But I'm watching these things, and then they zoomed off.
Well,
so fast.
Have you ever seen anything like that since?
No.
All right, so that explains a lot, because all growing up, you were obsessed with the movie Alien. I saw the movie Alien when I was 5. And
I was there.
Yeah. I also saw the movie.
I was.
I know. I also saw the movie It when I was 5 and had nightmares and peed the bed for a decade after that. I peed the bed for so long and had nightmares from watching the movie It when I was a kid. And you watched X-Files a lot. Just all Stephen King stuff, supernatural and alien stuff.
I'm very into Stephen King.
You did read all the books too.
I did. I did. And I missed that tremendously. Being able to read a book.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so this is my mom.
Hello.
Hi, my name is hi, my name is Natalie Jones. And this is my mother, Mary Beth. And actually, what is your last name?
Jeff Passan predicts that the Reds will be sellers at the trade deadline. And here's what he wrote. Objective, stop living at 500 and play like a playoff team. If they were to unload someone, it would be Brock Burke, who pitched well earlier this week. And if they were to get someone, it could be Taylor Ward, the outfielder, to give them some outfield help, which I think everybody would agree with. You buying this? You buying that the Reds could be sellers, will be sellers at the deadline?
I certainly think it's an option, and they're headed that direction, but this has to be the 4th, maybe 5th year in a row that the Reds' ideal trade deadline target's listed as Taylor Ward. So nice to see that keep coming around. First it was when he was with the Angels, now on an expiring deal with the Orioles. He's a free agent this offseason, so expect more conversation when he hits the market this offseason. But the first thing I thought of with this was, if the Reds are going to unload someone at the deadline and it's a relief pitcher,
yep.
What does the second half of this season look like for Reds fans in the bullpen? Mm-hmm.
Coming up, we have some breaking news that we will get to. That's right, some breaking news that we will get to coming up in 15 minutes here on First Word. Casey, man your battle stations. It involves Brendan Sorsby, former University of Cincinnati quarterback. Is he destined to be a Cleveland Brown? We will get to that coming up in just a bit. Oh,
Todd Monken would be thrilled.
Todd Monken, big Brendan Sorsby fan. He can't wait to get Sorsby in the building. I can't wait for the Reds to turn things around, sweep the Padres, and completely change the conversation here on First Word, because right now it's rough. They've lost 4 straight. They nearly got swept by the Royals last week. Thank goodness Will Benson exists, because they found a way to avoid that sweep. They get swept in St. Louis, and now they're in San Diego for a 3-game set. Let's preview this matchup, and I think that this is very, very simple. One, you got to end this 4-game losing streak tonight. I don't want to be talking about 5 straight losses and 31 and 34, 3 games under 500 for the first time this season. And so Petco Park at 9:40. It's late. I'm not going to get any sleep. While you slept might be while you stayed awake all night tomorrow. But regardless, we're going to have you covered here on first word, and look at that run differential. Punt that to the sun. -51.
Yikes. If there's a team that is struggling as much as the Reds, it's been the Padres as of late. They have lost 7 of their last 8, 11 of their last 12. They have not scored more than 3 runs, more than twice in that span. And you look at the numbers over the last 7 days for the San Diego's team, they've been struggling on both ends. Hitting their dead last average-wise, which is a 196 team average. They've only driven in 74 runs over the last week. And their pitching staff, they're in the top 5 in home runs allowed, hits allowed, and average allowed against opposing players. So the fact that we have Abbott and Burns going, I'm going to say it. This is going to be a series win. I don't know if they will get the sweep, but I'm going to say this will be a series win in San Diego.
I hope. I certainly hope
the
you're
Padres
right.
are good.
Those first 2 pitching matchups certainly lend themselves to the Reds. Abbott and Burns. The Reds have had success with both of them on the mound, and then you don't get Michael King. So you got Singer on the mound, which, will win the series. You can have Sunday. So hopefully the Reds can win the first 2 games of this series and take it. But I'm certainly not confident. You talk about the Padres being one of the coldest teams in baseball. The Royals had lost 16 of 20 before they got to Cincinnati, and then they left with a series win. So I don't think anyone is as cold as the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, that means the Reds can turn that around too. Other teams can.
I hope so.
It's pain is how I feel right now. And here's why. We've seen them blow Chase Burns starts now. Like we saw it last week to the Royals. At home to the Royals. The Royals. Are you kidding me? The Royals.
I love how down you talk to the Royals.
Unbelievable.
They're the Reds.
And that's the problem. But the expectations aren't that. Reds' expectations.
I think those rosters are very similar going into this year.
Fine. Whatever, man.
We're playing the same sport as the bad teams. That's the point.
Well, that is the point.
Yeah.
But that's it. Is you shouldn't. They shouldn't be, regardless. By the way, if you think that they're in the same sport, then they're going to finish under 500.
I think they're both battling to be 500.
It changed. When you went on vacation, he said they had 85 wins. And now
they did before this weekend.
And that's it, though, is they need to find a way over these next 3 days. Here's what I would say. To your point, Burns, you can bank on him. All-Star Abbott, there's a reason I call him All-Star Abbott. I think you can bank on him. Can I sell you guys on this idea that Singer, only 1 earned run? Can I go there? 1 earned?
How many innings?
4, but 1 earned.
My thing with Singer is it's not even as much about the ERA. He's supposed to be the guy that's giving you length. Now, if he's going to be a 1-run guy, sure, that's great. But there's no expectation I have that Brady Singer can ever turn into that on a consistent basis. He hasn't done it at any point in his career. He's been in the majors for a long time. I think the hope with him is that he can get back to the form where he's going 6, 7 innings a night. Whether it is 3 or 4 runs, that's fine, but he's giving your bullpen essentially a night off and giving your team a chance to win those games. That's what the Reds need Brady Singer to do. That's why I wasn't too encouraged by a start, even though it was 1 earned run this weekend.
If the Reds can somehow, over the next 3 games, get about 6 innings out of each Burns, Abbott, and Singer, I am ecstatic because that means the bullpen's getting a little bit of a break here. And I would take 5, 6 innings, 3 earned runs from Singer over him going 4 and just giving up 1. We need him to eat up some innings.
Interesting. I mean, but if Burns and Abbott do their job, then it shouldn't matter.
For sure.
The bullpen should be well rested. And then Tony Santillan can do his thing. He was good yesterday.
He was?
He was good yesterday. Jacob Tissot, buy that stock.
Absolutely not.
You're so out on Tony Santillan.
I can count on one hand the relievers I've been less confident watching run out of that tunnel in my life.
All right, so what's the confidence level in the bullpen? We're gonna go line by line here with this. All right, so starters, we've covered a lot about the rotation.
Great shout by Gabe in the back. Santillan is getting to J.J. Hoover range.
Interesting. It's interesting you say that. I thought he pitched well yesterday in a tough spot. All right, so just
1.
Okay, but 1. He pitched well yesterday. 1 to 10 confidence level in this bullpen right now going into this series against San Diego. 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
That's pretty high for you.
I say I'm at 4.
I mean, a 2 would be like blow it all up. So I'll go a little bit below 5.
I'm at a 3. Like if they have the lead, I am not comfortable at all.
The Reds were up 2-0, and Lauder was great, and he came out of the game, and it was, they're going to lose this one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm at a 2. I have no confidence. None.
Yeah, I'll come down then.
Were you trying to be optimistic?
A little bit. I mean, I think a 4 is pretty unconfident.
5 is probably average.
Yeah, I would say a 4 is pretty unconfident in a bullpen. 3-2-1 is like nightmare scenario, which maybe we are.
Sounds like a fun Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right.
There you go. All right, and then in the Reds lineup, I'm at S6.
It's so dependent on who they have in it. There's no rhyme or reason really to who they're playing at this point. You call up Noel Marte, who leads the International League in batting average, and you don't play him for 2 out of the 3 games this weekend. So I'm so confused about how they're going to plan on going around this lineup. I do have a little bit of confidence in Arroyo and Marte in the lineup. I think their ceilings are just so high. And then McLean playing short, he's been so much better there than he was at second. So I think my confidence in the lineup is increasing. Maybe a 6? 5 or 6, somewhere around there.
I'm like a 6. I was about to say 6-7. 6-7 with the lineup.
Keep going.
I can't even.
I don't like how you're looking at me while you do it. He's like really locked in.
Can you stop?
Super uncomfortable. I'm more uncomfortable with the bullpen and this lineup combined.
Same.
Because if the bullpen blows it, I had no confidence yesterday that, they'll answer after the 8th, in the night. I was like, nah.
No.
And they even got a runner on. Wasn't enough. Yeah. Stevenson, runner on, sorry. That's the other thing. Stevenson hit well yesterday.
The thing
Stevenson,
is,
McLean.
At what point in this game, other than up 3 runs and your starters in the 7th inning, can you feel confident about the Reds winning a baseball game?
In the 9th with 2 outs.
Can you?
Depends on
who's on the mound and what the situation is.
Up 3 with no one on. I'm confident.
You can say that at any point in time, though.
I don't think. Right now, if the Reds are down, I'm not confident in their lineup getting hits, stringing them together and scoring runs to come back. If they're up 2 runs or less, the bullpen's gonna blow it. So essentially, you have to have a starter that's giving you significantly less.
Gonna blow it. Look at
saying it like it's
you said it was a 4 in the bullpen a second ago, and now it's a 2 or less, maybe less.
Trying to be nice.
See if they can prove us wrong tonight. We'll get to our prediction for Reds Padres Game 1 coming up later in the show. But up next, breaking Brendan Sorsby news. Is he Cleveland Browns bound? We'll get the latest on everything going on with Sorsby, the former UC quarterback, next right here on First Word.
What is The Crown? It's simple, really. Authentic Cincinnati entertainment. Not hot takes from a studio 3 states away. Not national noise pretending to know this city. Rather, bringing a voice to those who call the Queen City home. Where can I watch The Crown shows? Join us live from 7 to 11 a.m. for First Word and 12 to 1 for the Working Lunch on RESN. No live TV? No problem. Stream and interact with all of our content on major podcast, broadcast, and streaming platforms. The Crown is Cincinnati. Loud, passionate, competitive, proud. From early morning sports debates to the business leaders shaping the riverfront, to the fans, stories, moments, and culture that make this place move. Live shows, podcasts, documentaries, digital content built from Cincinnati, for Cincinnati. This is The Crown.
Joe makes the comment, and I read it. I was in the room, but I read it, and I was like, he didn't say that. And I was in the room when he said it, but he's like, we're going to go out there and win a Super Bowl this year. And he just said it so nonchalant. I was like, no, he said, go out and try to win a Super Bowl. And then I went back and, no, he said, go out and win a Super Bowl. When you see that from QB1 in May, and it was May at the time, what goes through your mind? What tone does that set for the rest of the team and organization?
I think that's a great goal. And it's always our goal. But there's a lot of football to be played until then. So I don't concern myself with February 27 right now. We got Dexter again tomorrow. And there's a lot of work to be done. I think we're on the right track. I'm not a prediction guy. I'm an internal goals guy. I'll throw out Super Bowl when it's appropriate, but as of June 2nd right now, I am going to just continue to do my job to the best of my ability.
What internal goals?
Well, always is win the division. And so we started 2-0 last year, and then obviously all that happened with Joe, and so that was kind of we got that monkey off our back, but then, had a whole new set of issues. So, for the last couple of years, it's just let's start strong. So, to me, it starts with winning the division. You got to win your division. That's always the first goal. And then as we get going, Super Bowl is always the goal, overarching. We don't talk about that much internally. It did fire everyone up that Joe said that, and I love that. But we have a lot of things to work on before we're going to be touting Super Bowl after we missed the dance 3 years in a row.
Do you think that's by design for him?
Oh, yeah.
Like he knew, he was like, oh, I'm going to do that.
Oh, he does a great job with all. He's a very calculated man.
No, that's what I figured.
No, and we are all going for a Super Bowl, but there's a lot of work to be done to make that happen. It's not just we're talented on paper, and that's why we've had these last 2 OTAs have been, some of the best I've been a part of as a Cincinnati Bengal.
Brendan Sorsby might be a Cleveland Brown, but it won't be this season. Welcome back to First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here on The Crown. We are live on X at First Word Cincy, live on Facebook, live on YouTube as well. Catch us every single weekday on RESN. And we got some breaking news. Former University of Cincinnati Brendan Sorsby, the quarterback, the star quarterback, the guy who went to Texas Tech to try to get them to a national championship. Well, it looks like he's going to get that opportunity following the temporary injunction that was filed. A district court in Lubbock County, Texas, has granted the injunction, according to Pete Thamel, requested by Brendan Sorsby, which means he's set to be eligible to play for the Red Raiders this season. Now, he signed with Texas Tech this offseason in the portal, getting paid $5+ million, according to multiple reports. And this whole injunction, everything is stems from him gambling while being in betting on games, while being in the NCAA, all the way back to his time in Indiana. There's there's different accounts and reports of him at UC, and then all the way to now in this offseason. It's wild, guys. I'm surprised. I thought for sure we'd be talking about him in the supplemental draft. That's why I keep making the Cleveland Browns joke. Not that they would be interested in him, but someone would. But it looks like he's going to play for Texas Tech this year.
Mind is blown right now. Jacob was the first one to come across this on X a little bit ago, and I was just like, I was like, what did you say? Are we hearing this correctly?
No, I don't think it's an overreaction to say this is one of the worst decisions that could ever be made if Sorsby is granted eligibility this year. There's very few things, in my opinion, in sports that are more clear-cut than gambling on your own team. There's nuance to almost every single discussion about eligibility or playing time or anything else with suspensions. With this, there's not, to me. If you bet on a team that you are on the roster of, you are done. It needs to be that cut and dry. And the fact that we're even muddying the waters with preliminary injunctions from Lubbock, Texas Tech grad judges or whatever it is, that is disgusting to college sports, and it's taking away any kind of amateurism that there is left. And obviously the NIL and the transfer portal and all that has already started with this. But when you're pushing irreparable harm can be done to Brendan Sorsby because he can't cash NIL checks, maybe the irreparable harm was done when you bet on your own team 4 years ago. So I don't know what the discussion is for this. Obviously, the injunction was passed by a Lubbock County judge earlier this morning. The NCAA will appeal this. This will go back to court. And hopefully, and this is the first time I'll say this in my life, hopefully the NCAA wins.
I completely agree. I think this needs to be the case that you're like making the statement with, because if you don't, you're just opening up the door down the road for more cases like this. And like you said, it's muddying the waters. And I worry about what kind of situation we could get into down the road as more players see, oh, Brendan Sorsby was able to get his, was able to be reinstated and could play. more players could potentially take that risk of gambling on their own team if Sorsby is able to be granted eligibility.
So much of the conversation about granting him this injunction, working with him through the rehab and everything else with his gambling addiction, came around the premise that he sought out the help himself. It was now reported over 2 weeks ago that was not the case. It was reported to Texas Tech. It was brought up from a gambling commission. And then, before it was made public, he sought out this rehab to try to, at least in my opinion, cover it up, get in front of it in a way. And that is completely off the table for me, trying to protect someone looking out for themselves when that's not the case anymore. I think this is one of the most cut and dry stories in NCAA history when it comes to eligibility. And I cannot believe we are sitting here having this discussion right now.
So here's why I think it's going to stick. Is Ian Rapoport reported this. Sorsby will serve a 2-game suspension, and that's it. So no supplemental draft, out the window. It feels like everybody's like, I know you said the NCAA is going to appeal. All of the top people are just like, yeah, he's going to play. And so buckle up, he's going to play. It is wild. It is wild to say, one, the circus that's going to follow. Two, the fact that this got through. And when we saw the judge, who's a Texas Tech grad, I thought, all right, well, that's just that area. Like, that makes sense. Like, in that area, of course, it's going to be a Texas Tech grad. But, man, to see this go through, I'm surprised as well, because I really thought from an NFL side, NCAA side, that's your world. You pay more closer attention to it. He was on Nick Saban's staff at Alabama, and he's a big college football guy. From an NFL side, they were all talking supplemental draft. I mean, Jeremy Fowler, who we had on the show last week, he just tweeted this. He said teams are high on Sorsby. Feedback from them is that he's a first-round talent who might have gone late one back in April had he been in the quarterback pool. Quote, excellent and easy thrower, big athlete, wins off schedule, can run for touchdowns. A name to watch for the 2027 draft. I don't even know if I agree with half of that. And I watched him at UC as far as first-round talent goes. But the NFL was doing its homework, thinking that Sorsby was going to be available in the supplemental draft. I think that was a very real thing from that side of it. And so to go from that to this, where not only is there a chance he's playing, but he is playing, and it's a 2-game suspension, and this injunction is going to work. And that suspension means that's the penalty, basically. I mean, that's the penalty for this. Wild that we're talking about 2 games for a guy who gambled on his team, even if it was a team that he wasn't necessarily getting snaps for.
Gets you 2 games, then you get to pick them. I'm sure Texas Tech is thrilled that he's suspended against Abilene Christian and Oregon State and not any big-time games on their schedule.
Think they're going to be okay against Abilene Christian?
I don't know. It would be funny now if they win that game with Texas to try to play Texas week 1 and then Sorsby's suspended for it. That'd be fun.
There's no way they do that now.
No,
not that it was going to happen anyway. But
now, the Sorsby conversation here is obviously a very unique one with the gambling aspect of it. But I think this is a bigger conversation across college sports right now with the problem of the appeals and the temporary injunctions. We saw this at my alma mater, Alabama, for basketball this season with Charles Bediako coming in and getting a temporary injunction from a Tuscaloosa judge. We saw it with Trinidad Chambliss all throughout the offseason. Was that 4 or 5 lawsuits between the NCAA and Chambliss to try to get his eligibility for this year at Ole Miss? We see this everywhere. Joey Aguilar last year at Tennessee, Knoxville judge steps in, grants him an injunction for the season. There is a massive problem with the people that are being allowed to rule on these cases. These are alumni in the cities of these colleges most of the time, and it's not hard to figure out how they're getting to these conclusions. They're fans of these teams for the most part, and it is an opinion-based ruling. There's no facts. There's no backstory to go off of here with a lot of these things. So it is just, whatever you feel on that day, and you can justify either side of it. So if it's the star quarterback of your favorite college, a college you went to, you're going to lean one way or the other. I don't know what the workaround is here. These are public universities. These are kids, appealing to go back to school. So they have to go in the counties the universities are in. But if these judges are going to grant eligibility for quarterbacks of their alumni schools, that's a huge problem that needs to get fixed. And I think the only way you can fix it is getting to the CSC and the commissions for NIL and all these big next steps about combining these conferences that nobody really wants to talk about. But this slope is getting a little too slippery now, and that ball is rolling down, and I don't really know how you put this back in.
Do we think he wagered on whether or not he would be eligible?
Oh, jeez.
And the fact that that's why, like, the fact that that's a non-zero question is why it's shocking that he's eligible, right? Like, I said that tongue-in-cheek and to be funny, but at the same time, it's like, well, shrug. Which you don't want that. Like, that's it. Because if that happens and fans view it that way, as a sport, things really change in a major, major way.
No question. Oh, no question about it. And that's why I think this is the one thing that you cannot have questions about, because it's not one player and what they're doing for the sport. At this point, when we're having this many conversations throughout an offseason about Brendan Sorsby and his gambling, the conversation becomes, is the sport still above board? Are these players gambling across the country and we just don't know it?
When he throws a pick six, and it's the most obvious one in the world, people are going to be like, well, what was that?
You're always going to question it.
And that's the.
And it doesn't help that the score bug in the top right and the broadcast is brought to you by DraftKings and ESPN Bet in the bottom left. And none of that is great when we're talking about all of this stuff, but it's so prevalent now that I think it's even more important to cut this out of the game, because you can't even consume sports without gambling content. It's almost impossible now. You go down to Great American Ballpark, there's 4 different sports books on the outfield wall and then one across the street. So it's not possible. So as much as these keep permeating the game and the sports we watch, they have to cut out any kind of question about players and coaches getting on the wrong side of it.
When we talk, we expect the NCAA to appeal this. They put out a statement a few minutes ago about the ruling. They strongly disagree with the court's ruling in Sorsby's case and is deeply concerned about the damaging, far-reaching, and broadly destabilizing ramifications of this outcome, which undermines and corrupts the integrity of sports. The NCAA is committed to supporting student-athlete mental health, but also continue to aggressively defend against actions that defraud college athletics and threaten competitive integrity, such as betting on one's own sport. Exactly the point that you were making before.
Yeah.
The judge also said that he needs to continue and engage in treatment for his gambling addiction and anxiety, which was cited in the report. But if you're just joining us, Brendan Sorsby will be eligible for the 2026 season and play quarterback for Texas Tech. He will serve a 2-game suspension. We'll certainly have more on this as it breaks, but that is the breaking news. We'll continue the conversation, get you set for Reds, Padres, Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and much, much more next right here on First Word.
You were not getting college. You went to school for drama.
Yes.
Which is, let me tell you what. If any creatives out there who are not actively creating, it makes you go crazy. And I have witnessed firsthand a creative who didn't professionally create and had to take care of so many damn kids and husbands along the way, and it drove you crazy for so long. Now, as a grown woman at this point and been in my career as long as I have so much perspective on your life and how you were in all of your 30s and your 40s. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, you created in your home. You made, our homes were beautiful, but I feel like, oh my God, because when I don't create, I go nuts. Like, I go absolutely nuts.
I was busy, obviously. I was busy with my children.
Well, I'll say this. You had 4 kids by the time you were 28. We had a great life.
We did.
Yeah, we had a great life. We weren't the richest, we weren't the smartest, we weren't the anythingest ever. But we had a blast. We had a house, we had a dog, we had a pool, we went to school, we had a bunch of friends.
Thank God I had a rich mother. That helps a lot.
Man, I wonder what that's like. God.
You never know.
I won't. Not at all. Well, so now if you could give me any advice at 40 years old, single girl, what would you say?
Get pregnant. Immediately.
Well, there we go. If anyone's got some
strong
DNA.
Artificial insemination. Just make sure the guy is smart and handsome.
Okay. True.
And oh man, if you look at Turner and you look at where cornerbacks are making, he's going to get paid. Like, if you think he's going to get paid $15 million per year, you're mistaken. He's going to get that first number. That average annual value is going to start with a 2. And on the low end, I think it's going to be like $22 million per year. You're thinking like a 4-year, $88 million extension. And I'm not even sure that gets it done. It depends on the guarantees and the structure and all of those things. DJ Turner has a ton of value. He knows it. The Bengals know it. And how this goes, where this goes, it's going to come down to how close they can get to where he thinks his value will be next year if he plays well this year. Because that cornerback, just the cornerback market in general, is booming. And for good reason. Corners are really valuable. Wide receivers haven't been as valuable as in NFL history as they are right now. That means that cornerback market has started to boom, and you can see it right there. First Word rolls on here on a Monday. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli, and there's no one, and I mean no one, more fired up right now than Jacob Tissot. Jacob Tissot, he's smiling.
I'm pretty upset.
He is not excited about this Brendan Sorsby ruling. You know, if you're just joining us, Brendan Sorsby, well, was granted an injunction by a Lubbock County judge, which means that he will be eligible for Texas Tech this year. Will be suspended for 2 games. Will take part in a gambling addiction counseling, but is going to play for the Red Raiders this season.
Yeah, I was just checking what some of the responses were to this, and Daniel Jeremiah put it perfectly. There are now no enforceable rules in college football. None.
Yeah.
Sad.
That one is, it is what I'm surprised, I'm shocked. Get our instant reaction up on our YouTube page. We're working on getting that up. It'll be up shortly after the show. Speaking of YouTube, that's one of the many ways you can watch us here on First Word. We're live every single weekday on RESN. That's the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. You can catch us on Spectrum, Alta Fiber, obviously digitally at 19.3. And if you missed any part of the show, check us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, also live on X, live on Facebook, each and every day for you. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati. So check us out every single weekday, and not just us. The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley has you covered for business every weekday, noon to 1. Also check out the Rebound Rundown with Paul Fritchner and the Nat Jones Show as well. But yeah, Sorsby, eligible. The NCAA felt so bad that he was going to end up a Cleveland Brown, they let him just become eligible. So there you go. Clip that. I mean, that's what happened.
The NCAA did not let him become eligible.
I know.
Yeah,
they're mad about this.
That is so not.
They're mad about this. It was a joke. It was
very upset about this. Yeah, certainly kind of leaning towards my direction. Which, honestly, I don't think anyone's team Brendan Sorsby in this situation except for maybe Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech fans.
In his bank account.
Well, of course.
Because that $5 million NIL, like, that's more than Desmond Ridder made in the NFL. You know, like, so this year, you just put it that way. Like, Sorsby, like, the argument that this would be, a reputable damage. Yeah, it would, of course, because that's $5 million he wasn't going to get. He was going to have to go to the supplemental draft and take his chances in the NFL, which if he gets picked by the Browns or whoever, that was tough sledding. So, like, this is a huge win for Brendan Sorsby. And sometimes you just got to say it out loud. He was betting on his team, whether or not he was playing or not. Do you want to open that can of worms? Obviously, the NCAA doesn't, all jokes aside. But Sorsby has found his way to eligibility and is going to find his way, barring something unforeseen, onto the college football gridiron this fall.
Yeah, and I think he's always going to have that cloud over his head of, like you were just saying, if he throws a pick six, he fumbles, anything he does, you're going to wonder, did he bet on that?
Is that real?
Is that real? Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. My worry is that he goes out there and he throws 45 touchdowns, 4 picks this year. He's in New York for the Heisman ceremony.
He's winning the Heisman if he does that. 45-4.
We're talking about him in New York at the Heisman. He's a first-round draft pick, and this doesn't get talked about ever again. That's my worry.
Yeah, and could happen. It could happen.
Because it should end his career.
Especially now. I thought the supplemental draft was a real a real, not just possibility, the most likely thing. And 90%, 95%. Now, of course, there's always ways, and he found a way. He's going to be eligible. He's going to play this fall. The Reds are going to play tonight in San Diego. They're going to try to find a way to snap their 4-game losing streak. Prediction time. Do the Reds find a way and get it done with Big Gun on the mound?
I'll let you go first, Jacob.
I didn't say ace. I wasn't trying to get into the debate.
I'll
Big
say
Gun on the mound.
I'll say
All-star
yeah.
average. Yeah,
Reds win tonight 4-3.
You sound so confident.
And at no point in those 9 innings are any of us confident, but they do get the win, 4-3.
I'm confident they get the win tonight. I think they're going to get the series win. I think they take the first 2 with Abbott and Burns on the mound. Again, rattled off the stats before. The Padres have been they're struggling worse than the Reds are right now. I mean, both from the pitching standpoint and their lineup, they haven't been able to produce many hits, dead last in average in the last 7 days. I think this could be a get-right series for the Reds. Maybe that's too optimistic. I'm hoping.
Does that mean sweep?
No.
I'm
not saying they're going to sweep.
Get right, but you don't push them with 2 out of 3.
A series win winning 2 out of 3 feels like a get right.
Get-right series losing the getaway game is pretty funny.
Hold on. I think they lose tonight. I think Abbott pitches well in this bullpen. I think they're reeling right now, and they just switch time
And then you win the middle one?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not making predictions for tomorrow. You're worried about Chase Burns.
Are they going to get swept? Because they're not winning the game 3.
I am not making predictions for any of the other games. I'm saying tonight. I think it continues. I think we're talking about a 5-game losing streak. I hope I'm wrong.
See, I think we'll get 6 innings, maybe 2 earned runs on Abbott.
All-Star Abbott is the man. It's the rest of the team that I'm worried about. Yeah. Are they going to hit?
Total runs, all 3 games for the Reds. What do we think that number's
Scoring?
at? Yeah.
12.
I'll take the over.
12 across all 3?
They had 11 over the weekend.
Yeah. I will take the under.
Yeah, I would probably lean over if I said I just went 1 over what they had, but I would probably take the over. But 13.
Well, you know there's going to be a 1-run game in there.
Yeah, they'll have 1 run, 2 runs, and 12 runs.
And 14.
14 total. Thanks, you guys won 1 game. The run differential is insane.
It's getting to a point where it's ridiculous.
51. You're just bad. Like at some point.
Well, they exclusively win 1- and 2-run games.
Yep.
And every other loss, I should say, is 4 or 5 runs. It builds up pretty quickly.
NBA Finals, Game 3 tonight. It's Wemby trying to save his season in the Garden. I'm so excited for this one. And guess what? We get to watch basically the first half before the Red. I'm in on that as well. Go Knicks. I think the Spurs get it done. I think the Spurs make this a series. I think people are just assuming that, the Knicks are going to roll. They are rolling. I think they lose tonight, but I do want the Knicks to win, baby. Come on, Knicks.
I've seen nothing that doesn't lead me to think that New York is winning tonight. They've been on such a tear.
Wow.
And the way that San Antonio lost that game with the turnover and Wemby missing the shot, I don't know. It's just, it was deflating. I just think vibes are pretty low in that Spurs locker room right now.
The Spurs aren't the Cavs. Come on, Marisa.
In the nicest way possible, that's exactly my point.
They're going to win tonight.
I think the Spurs are going to win tonight. I don't think the series is over yet. Maybe the Knicks still end up winning, but I do think the Spurs make this interesting as we progress. At least 6.
I would love to see my Spurs in 6 or prediction. I just don't think it's going to happen.
If the Spurs won in 6, I'd be a happy, happy man.
I'm still very much. I predicted Knicks in 6. I still think that's the most likely.
I was gonna say, I think,
even after 2-0.
I think this is the script for Knicks in 6.
Yes, it is.
You split these.
Pressure is
Spurs
very
win
much
in San Antonio.
Pressure is very much on the Knicks right now. You do not want that alien to get some momentum.
Spurs win tonight. Crowd starts booing.
That's it. It just
go
takes
in there for Game 4.
It
You're
takes
tied,
one, and
going
the whole
back to
thing
San
flips.
Antonio.
1 and the whole thing.
Let's
flips.
not forget the Suns won Game 1 and 2 against Giannis and the Bucks a few years ago.
Please, please, please make sure you check us out on YouTube and all social media at First Word Cincy. For Jacob Tissot and Marisa Contipelli, back from vacation, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching and listening to First Word.